still.
Always free with
That's why mine are always black.
There we go.
Hereafter, so that we remember our bonds, we shall always come together in a circle.
It's not so much chill. We hit so many different topics and jump all over.
To hear and tell of deeds good and brave.
You went full cookie puss.
Hey, I'm just look.
I will build a round table where this fellowship shall meet.
So that's why it's the round table. We're all equals here.
Well, at least I'm not pulling a rickshaw.
Remember it well then, this night, so that in the years ahead, you can say, I was there that night.
There's a lot of shots being fired.
And it sounded like somebody was sucking down their microphone like a slack jaw bundle of sticks.
Whoa, there's no gay frogs here.
Good and evil, there never is one without the other. Where hides evil then in my kingdom? Always where you never expect it.
It passes through Antifa ranks. It smells like cat piss and kitty litter.
Yeah.
And patchouli.
I know a few YouTubers who smell like that.
And look upon this moment. Savory. Rejoice with great gladness.
And welcome to the round table.
For it is the doom of men that they forget.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the round table. Tonight, we are covering the review on Arcane Season 1, Episodes 4, 5, and 6. And I hope, Trina, you're proud of me. I actually took notes.
Good job. I am like meticulous with my note taking.
Yeah, I was, and I got to thank Adam because he started playing it for anyone who they were hoping to watch it, or if they haven't seen it. He played it earlier, so as I was working, I'm like, oh, that's right, Adam's doing that, so let me click in there, and I went, oh, this is perfect. I don't even have to put on my system to put on Netflix or nothing. I'm like, oh, I'll just watch it here, and I started making my notes.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm ready tonight. I did a pretty good. I think we all did a pretty good job last week, anyway.
Yeah, last night was great. I mean, last week was great.
Yeah. So, but yeah, well, since you just came in, let's, Trina, how you doing tonight?
I'm well, making it happen at the last possible second. I'm happy to be here with you guys. Looking forward to this review. Happy Sunday to everybody out there.
Yeah, I think we definitely need this because I know a few of us have been having a rough weekend.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Also, of course, we got my first co-host who came in here tonight. She even beat out Adam, and Adam is always on top of the game. We have Tina Bojan. How you doing, Tina?
I'm doing pretty well. I mean, it's a little rainy today, but 43 in Chicago the week before Christmas. That's amazing. Wow. So no complaints here. I worked a lot this weekend, but also played a lot with the puppy. So I did not take notes. She was too cute to not cuddle during the episodes. So with that, I am not prepared for. But otherwise, I'm ready to talk.
Well, I don't blame you. And it's all good, too, because like I said, there's certain things like I wrote down for sure. Because I know even when I watched the first time through, there's things that I missed or I forgot, and things that had happened in the third episode that I had missed. Some stuff happens quickly, with like these explosions and stuff that had happened on the on episode 3, and like one of them I forgot about was the doctor who works with Silco. You know, his Dr. Fauci. You know, so yeah, we'll get into that because I mean there is some cool stuff going on with it. But yeah, that's for sure. But of course, we have super fan Adam Shawhan in the house.
Yeah, he's a bad doctor. He's a bad man. But yeah, I told you, man. After watching it a couple different times and the art behind the art, the storytelling that I feel is perfect. You get to story building. You get to know what you need to know. You get to see the characters grow. You get to see the past, the future. Oh my goodness, it's just so great. But yeah, with a lot of lovely art and music to boot. And yeah, how about that? He loves him like a brother.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, I'm going to say hello to the chat as well. To Hilm29, this series is fantastic. There's been a few people who go looking for wokeness in everything, and they hope to find it no matter what. And they'll even go as far as seeing just certain designs of characters and screaming wokeness and just wanting to run away from things. I know someone who's seen the first season, loved it, and then right away into the second one decided that it's all woke to them. So that's up to them to decide, and anyone else who watches it. Me personally, Adam, so far, Tina and Trina, they've been enjoying the hell out of it. Other people I've spoken to as well who were kind of on the fence or they hate all the woke shit like all of us who watched this absolutely loved it as well. So, and if you are an artist, you are seriously leaving yourself in the wind having not seen this or not wanting to see it, because the artistry in this series is magnificent. Everything that they do, the storytelling elements, music, lighting, voice acting, everything is on par or better than some movies. This thing also won the Emmy for Best Series. First time Netflix has ever brought that home because of this series. The voice actress in episode 3 for Powder, she won an Emmy for her acting on it. This series has won, I think, 4 or 5 different Emmys, 9 Annie Awards. This thing is absolutely incredible. And I got to say, though, too, that on top of all that else, this thing costs $250 million to do both seasons. The most expensive animated anything ever made. And the company, Riot Games, or I think it was Riot, they put up the money for all of it. Netflix didn't. So the stuff that they won and everything, it was from their own hard work and what they wanted to achieve. And I think they did it, because this is one of the coolest looking series I've ever seen. I wouldn't have been reviewing it had it been bad. But this is really masterful storytelling all around. So if you get a chance, I highly recommend it. And that's kind of what the reviews have been on. And yeah, we're going to be breaking it all down. So we also had, Adam was the first one in tonight saying hello to everybody. We have Tina was saying hi to everyone, me, and we have Gap After Dark. He's over on the Rumble side. What's up, buddy? Hope you're doing well. RR is also here. But yeah, we're going to be staying on YouTube all night too, like we did last week. Because again,
and just a heads up for everybody, next week, because we're doing the next 3, my game plan is to start with episode 1 and go all the way through 9, and then it'll lead right into the show. So anyway, nice. I'm going to try that's the game plan. All weather permitting, of course, and internet's for everyone working. But Vinny was kind enough to jump on and make sure that everything looked good. And it was kind of a test on, because I went live on my channel, but ran it through or through Fun University. But I shared it in the chat here so everybody could go there earlier and watch. Awesome. So I'll do the same thing next time too.
So that's it.
I don't know. It's all of us coming together. So if you don't have Netflix, you can watch it. If you still want to stick it to Netflix, that's fine. You click the link, you watch with us, and
there you go.
Come right here.
See, Adam's awesome. So anyone, if you haven't seen it or you don't have Netflix and you want to see it, next week Adam's going to be playing them. So make sure to subscribe to Fun University, all that great stuff. And like I said, we're going to be getting into this. So Trina was saying hi to everyone as well. Let's start getting into this. Right off the bat, like, what did you guys all think of the time jump that we had from episode 3 to 4? You guys all cool with that? Did you like it?
Yeah, I was. I was expecting it, but it was still kind of surprising to see Powder's Powder is kind of like all grown up ish now, and that was fun to see. I kind of liked them being a little bit younger, but yeah, it was cool. The way that they did it, I like the way they did the time jump.
Yeah, I was really smart, and I love the reveal of her as well. Which we're going to get into. So episode 4, we open up with Heimerdinger, the little professor dude, and Jace, and they're talking about the bicentennial that's happening, and basically he's kind of hyping up Jace with his hex tech and the hex gates that he created. So this is about an 8 to 10 year jump from what we had previously seen. And so what we last saw with Jace and Victor, basically Jace was supposed to be pretty much arrested and all of his stuff was going to be destroyed. His mom kind of saved him, and they were going to, he was going to be basically going to the family business instead of being a scientist. He was like kind of banned from their universities and all that. But they broke into Heimerdinger's office because both Victor and Jace, actually Victor saves Jace's life. Jace was about to off himself, and he stopped him and he told him how amazing, he was flipping through his notes and how smart everything was that he was doing with these crystals and what they were coming up with. And they think that they could crack the code on how to unlock this kind of magic capability. So they end up breaking into Heimerdinger's office. And so that's the last that we saw of them when all this stuff went down on episode 3. So this one with the time jump, we see that Jace he got elevated to a very high status. He's doing some amazing stuff. He created these things that helps like with the shipping of items and stuff. Like these magic towers, it looks like, and it brings everyone else from all over, I guess, this fictional fantasy realm or whatever, so they could do their exports and imports and all that stuff. And they brought so much to their their city of Peltover. So but Heimerdinger's talking to him about this other scientist who everything that he's done kind of blew up in his face, but yet there's still statues that they made of him and everything because he was pushing that needle for innovation and everything. So that's what this is about, because Jace, and much younger, was able to do this. So they want him to head this kind of like World's Fair thing that they're doing for the bicentennial, and he wants to reveal like a new technology and stuff like that, and he's excited about it. So like as they're kind of showing all that stuff, that the city's more advanced, like from what we saw 8 to 10 years prior, like everything's booming, they're doing amazing. So we cut to the shipping ports and all that, and that's where things start to change a little bit. So we see Savika, that Indian looking chick who she used to be with Vander, and she kind of challenged him, and like in the 3rd episode or whatever, and you saw her later with Silco, and she kind of joins his gang. And in there, she got injured badly saving Silco's life when Powder set off that bomb.
Yeah.
Her arm got blown off completely. So when we see her, she's got like a sheet over it, and she's smoking. You can see she's a tougher underground person, whatever. But it's like those floating ships, and they're bringing in cargo, and it's her and the guy who looks like Queequeg from Moby Dick, the big guy with the tattoos all over him, and they're bringing in these big shipments. And some of the barrels have like this pink or purple X on them. They're shipping that shimmer drug that Silco and the Doctor were creating, or a version of it. And as we see that, we're seeing like these guys like on these kind of hoverboards with masks on, and one of them's got like a little stopwatch thing, and he's kind of like twirling. They're waiting for their moment, I guess, to attack, and they're kind of hiding in the shadows. But on the ship itself, you see that again, Savika, she's paying off like the shipping guy or whatever, and they're ready to kind of take off when those guys attack, the ones that are on their like hoverboard things. And as they do, like they have like these kind of weaponry and like these crystals, and that kind of how can I explain it?
Glues them?
Well, it's kind of like the foam that
insulated foam, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. So it hits them and they kind of get stuck, but it turns into crystals. So like they're pinned down. So they basically froze the big guy with the tattoos, Svika, and they want to kind of get in there and take the shimmer stuff or destroy it. And so they send 2 to go below deck, and as 2 of them go down there, they get locked in, and you see like the light kind of come on, and it's like the Neo kind of drawing of like the monkey face and stuff. It's basically it's this Jinx character, and these guys are shitting their pants. They're like, what the hell's going on here? She goes, oh, she's got to be down here. And they're looking, and it's like in the dark. Again, I like how they kind of shot it almost like a horror movie too. Like that suspense. They're kind of creeping in, and you don't see much. They light a flare. They throw it on the ground, and there's like a little swing. It's going back and forth. And as it's coming towards us, underneath it, like written in like markers, you see boom. And then we're, oh shit, we're gonna get the hell out of here. And like there's like a line that's in between them, and like she comes zip lining in between, but she moves so fast, they didn't know what the hell happened, and she planted grenades on their chest and then went behind other like cargo shit. And then you see from outside, the whole thing explodes, and there's like smoke and shit everywhere. And like they don't know what the hell's going on. And one of the guys with the mask goes, she's got to be below deck, and the like that door swings open, and you see Jinx. She pops up, and like the reveal is fantastic because it's like the slow footsteps, and they pan up towards her, and she just goes, "Hi," and she pulls out 2 grenades, and she starts throwing it at 2 other guys. They're like sticky bombs on them. They fall off the ship, and you see them blow up. So she's already killed 4 guys right off the bat. And the other ones try to get away, and she's like a lunatic. She's just like shooting at them, dodging shit, their attacks. Like she's really like a kick-ass fighter too. On top of it, which is really good. But she has like a little minigun or a Gatling gun that she's using on these guys. So where was I? Yeah, so yeah, that mask group, they had all that kind of going on. Oh no, during that bicentennial thing, I forgot, before Jace, because he's gonna have like a big speech and everything and kind of say everything. You see that he meets up with Kate. I remember Caitlin, his assistant from like the first episode and those first couple of them. She's older now too, and she's part of a rich family. And she's an enforcer, but she's a specific kind that's just supposed to kind of stand guard, like more of a ceremonial type thing. Like she's not really supposed to get her hands dirty. She's like lower level, but they want to kind of keep her safe. So you could see the kind of playful banter that they have a little bit. You could tell that they're friends. So I wanted to make sure everyone knew that, yeah, Kate became an enforcer.
I did find it interesting that Kate's mother, who's also on the council, that she kind of didn't want to have anything to do with him after his office exploded. But then you find out all these years later, she's showing him off like how proud she is because she was his patron and blah, blah, blah. And
oh, yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. Because because his status went up, she's like, yeah, he's great.
His fall from grace, so he's just as poor as everybody else at that point at the beginning. To hear where he's again, we're at the top of the line and we haven't seen anything yet. And again, the fact that the daughter says herself, Caitlin, I wonder how much or what her mom had to do to get her on that detail or what strings she pulled. I can't remember the exact language, but while she's around all the other people and they're sitting there, actually like, oh, well, we're sorry we're not as educated as you, although that's not what they say, but that's basically what they're saying to her, the regular guards, if you will.
Yep. Yeah. By the way, Tommy, what's up, brother? Good seeing you, man. Hope you're feeling better and resting up. RR saying hi to him as well. So is Trina and everyone. So awesome. So, but yeah, back on the ship there. So she's taking them out and everything. And one of them, they pop open one of the shipments there of that shimmer liquid stuff, and they're gonna drop a flare and like blow up the whole thing. And Jinx grabs one of the masked characters who has the flare and hits her. And when she does, the mask comes off, and she's got like pinkish hair as well. And she right away she starts thinking that it's her sister. She sees her sister because she has post-traumatic stress disorder and everything from what had happened when she was a kid. And you see it like it popped up right there, and she starts flipping out and seeing things. So she sees her sister's face and she kind of freezes, and that girl drops the flare and everything starts going on fire. And she's hearing in her head like, oh, you're a Jinx, you're, the last words that her sister said. And she just like flips. She realizes it's not her sister, and then just shoots that girl dead. And when she does, one of the other masked guys on the board, he starts screaming, no, his timer went off, like, and he's like, we got to get out of here. And he tries to grab like the remaining ones. But as he's flying, she starts flipping out, Jinx, and she's shooting everything trying to get this guy. she doesn't care who the hell's in front of her, and she does friendly fire. So the fat guy looks like Queequeg with all the tattoos. He's still pinned on the wall, and he gets shot in the stomach. Savika, she broke out of like that crystal kind of foam shit or whatever, and she kind of, she got cover. But as everything's burning and they got away, like she runs up to Jinx. She's like, we were supposed to protect the cargo, not destroy it. And Jinx is just looking up at her, like not even flinching. And this other one's like towering over her. She's like, like she doesn't give a shit. You could see like this girl, she's broken. She's completely broken. She's a psycho. It's great how they kind of did that.
Well, I can fix her, Vinny.
Yeah,
Oh God.
but they both leave.
Jinx is like she's an actual problem. That girl with the big kiss, she thought that was her sister, and she shot her. Like this is how far gone Powder is now.
Yeah,
like she is. Yeah,
they're all afraid of her. Like she has a reputation already too, so it's pretty amazing, kind of what they did.
Well, the Fireflies, right? Like we're introduced to this new group, and they're right there taking on. And again, we know that the drug is bad.
Mm-hmm.
The purple drug that they're trying to save, the shimmer or whatever. So I mean, again, it's like, but you're really dove right into this right away and have to figure out who's who.
Yeah, See, that's what I like about this series. It's because it's like underground shit. It's almost like mafia type shit that's in there. Then we have magic elements. We have science elements. We got Game of Thrones type stuff in here. Like there's so much layered throughout this series and what we end up getting into. So, I love like I said, the new kind of the reintroduction of these characters and like kind of where they've been and where they've gone and what they're turning into basically. It's excellent.
This Firelight crew, the ones that like airboard, I guess you would say. Which is really cool, and I love their masks too. They look cool.
The animation on them was so good.
Yeah,
Back to the Future Scooter Boys.
Yeah,
sort of, but like on steroids, like the way that they moved.
We haven't we don't know anything about we haven't met them yet in this series. We don't know anything about them.
Yep, we don't know who they are, what they do. All we know is that they tried to stop the shipment.
Yep.
That's the only thing we know. Because at first it looked like they were going to steal it, and then we see, oh no, they wanted to destroy it. So that was pretty damn cool. So like as this stuff's going on, like we cut back to Jace and Victor, and they're working and they're getting ready to show off their new hex tech. So they grab the little professor, and they wanted to show him. So like remember the crystals we saw that were all broken in episodes 1, 2, and 3. Well, now we see like a perfect sphere, all polished and everything, and because those things were highly explosive and dangerous. So Jace is showing that. He goes, no, we stabilized it. He goes, what do you mean? He puts it down on an anvil, and he has a hammer in his hand. And the professor's like, no, don't. and Jace hits it, and nothing happens. You see kind of like magic kind of speckles in the air. Nothing blew up. And he's like, oh, my God, you did it. You stabilized it. Like, he's proud of them for that. He goes, but even better, now we could use it, and we could actually make it safe for all the people of the city. He goes, what do you mean? And he goes, they came up with new inventions that this gemstone could power. So there's something called the Atlas gauntlets, which basically they want to use it for like they're like mining gloves. They're like oversized gloves that they could destroy, and like get the coal and things that they need from underground or whatnot. So he shows like all the strength of it, and it picks up a giant like boulder and smashes it and crushes it in its hand with ease. There's like some kind of what's his name, like Tony Stark, he had like that mechanical arm thing, and
almost like Doc Ock's arm, but just one,
sort of like a mix of the two. But but there's like a laser feature in it, and he goes, and we could use it for fine tuning craft and stuff, and it does like a portrait of the professor, but as it does, like he moves his hand too quickly and it cuts off a piece of it. And so they pop the gem out, and he's like, this is magnificent, amazing. And as Jace is talking, he has one in his hand, and the power source, because he's close to the machinery, it's not in it anymore. You see the hand kind of moving around the laser thing, and he kind of throws it in the air, and it shoots and it hits his little pet in the ear, and the thing's running around the room. But like they're not paying attention. It's like little comic relief. But at the same time,
his little butt's on fire, and now he's got like a streak of his furs all missing. Like
yeah, and he's yapping like a dog. But then you got the professor's like, this is amazing. He goes, you got some kinks to work out, but I'd say in about 10 years or so, it should be safe for everyone. He's like, what do you mean? We're ready to unveil it now. He's like, no, we still can't. It's still too dangerous, this type of stuff. And he's trying to convince them. Jace and Victor still want to show it, especially Victor, because we found out later he's kind of on borrowed time right now. No one knows at this point, but he's been having like coughing fits and stuff, and we see a little bit more later in the episode. But again, like I said, they're ready to kind of unveil this. But we cut back to Caitlin, and there's the other enforcers kind of. They're getting statements and stuff about the attack that happened on that ship. And so Caitlin kind of, she goes onto the ship when everyone else is out there. She's kind of looking around, and she's doing like the crime scene investigation basically. And, she sees like the gunfire, like, whoever this was shooting. And, she kind of pans over with her fingers, like where the direction of the bullets, how they were hitting. And she sees blood on the floor near like some of that crystal stuff, like this yellow kind of crystal shit. So she follows the blood, and it goes underground. It goes to that bottom level, and even from there, there's like another little like metal hatch thing, and she sees that someone's in there, and it's that big guy, like Queequeg looking guy with the tattoos. So
his name is Locke, by the way.
Locke. There you go. I fucking yeah. Did I have it on my other notes?
I'm so bad with names.
I know.
I had to look him up too.
Yeah, I like how you just like the big dude. The big dude. We all know the big dude.
Don't forget the what's his name? The Asian enforcer. I kept forgetting his name's Marcus.
I know
you got him confused when we were talking in the chat, and you were getting mad. I'm like, no, that's the dude. That's the guy that Chris likes so much because
All you had to say was Asian guy.
I know. Asian enforcer, though. He's got a good role through this whole show, though. I like him.
Yeah, they did a good job with him. I mean, because like the scumminess is what he had done, and then like in those first 3 episodes, and yeah, like the guilt that's hitting him now. Because there's some stuff that happens. It's pretty damn good. But so as Kate's kind of investigating, she stumbles upon that guy Locke. So she jumps down there, and he's injured. He's shot up in the belly and stuff. And, she's like, well, who did this? And he won't say. He'll kill me if I talk or whatever. So as she's trying to get answers from him, Marcus pops up, and he's like, Caitlin, what the hell are you doing here? Like, this isn't your job. You're not even supposed to be in this area. Like, he's being a dick to her with the other enforcers. And she's trying to kind of talk and explain herself. And he's like, You want extra work? I'll give you extra work. You could stay. You could do the late shift for the bicentennial and guard the bicentennial. And she's like, oh, okay. And she's kind of dismissed. But you can see again, Marcus. He rose to the level of sheriff basically.
He totally pulls rank on her.
Yep. He's very dickish, but we saw who the previous sheriff was and what happened to her in the episode 3.
Yeah.
So,
and remember, we got to watch him at episode 3 kidnap Violet.
Oh yeah. Which we're going to be getting to soon. Yeah, because from that point,
remember when that ended, he's got we're all assuming he's going to off her because we don't know what's happened to her. We haven't seen her yet. And, all we've seen, that's all we know. And again, that's why I love the way this builds. But I'm sorry, I'm so excited because it's so good.
Oh, it is. It's fantastic. So now we cut to and they're playing some great music as we're seeing the underground. And there's Svika, the Indian chick with that arm. She's going to what's now Silko's bar. It used to be Vander's, and you can see how it kind of changes. She opens up the door. You see these guys doing drugs and the people dancing and all this. She grabs a bottle, goes upstairs, and she's pissed. So she goes over and she tells Silko. He's like, "What the hell happened?" And she goes, "Jinx lost her shit out there. She flipped out. She started shooting at everyone. She hit Locke. And she's really getting into it." And he's like, "What the hell's going on?" So he's like, "Listen, do your job. Go clean up. I'll deal with this." Because Svika is she's fed up with Jinx because apparently she keeps messing up things, at least for her side. But Jinx is there. She's like up on the rafters, like in Silco's office. She's like on a wooden beam or something up there, and she kind of he's talking, as if she's in the room, but we don't see until they pan up. And so you see her kind of sitting there, and I like it. They kind of keep the camera on Silco, and then you just kind of hear her like land, and she's on his desk, and she's sitting there like like a kid who just did something wrong but doesn't really care. So she's like, "Tell me what happened," and she's like, "You heard her. She's right. I lost my shit." And he's like, "What the hell was that about?" And she said, she goes, I one of them looked like my sister, and like and she starts kind of like almost, I'd say, Harley Quinn with more of a purpose.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Like
I have that in my notes that she is basically Harley Quinn.
She definitely has that, but at times she's more psychotic, and at other times she's more you could see the heart that's still in her.
Yeah.
So
it's like she's still torn.
Yeah, she's a fantastically written character.
Yep.
I really been enjoying what they did with it, because again, I didn't know nothing about the games. I went into this blind as well, so but yeah, from what I ended up hearing is like this is one of the most accurate depictions of like that world or like any like video game world, like an adaptation to their stuff that gave more lore and more background. So I thought that was really cool, all the stuff that they did. So
I liked when she was kind of talking to herself at one point, where I thought, she's just thinking out loud, and then she's having conversations with either like in an imaginary Milo and Clagor or something, because because the drawings that you see kind of look like his face. There's a face with goggles, and then there's another face.
She's like seeing the ghost of her two friends that she accidentally killed.
Haunted by, if you will.
Definitely haunted.
Very haunted by it. Again, she's not matured past that level, even though she's doing all this evil shit. She's carrying that weight of killing her family.
Oh yeah,
right.
It's really good. And every time she kind of sees them, they're like flashes of them, and like their eyes are X'd out and they're all gray. Like it's you could see it. That's perfectly put. Yeah, haunted. Definitely haunted by them. So as she's kind of like explaining to him, like and she's like, sisters, you can't live with them. You can't shove them back in the womb. Like she's wacky. She's losing it, and he sees it. So he's like, listen, we'll Svika is gonna clean up. Svika, she's like, relax, go do your, take a little time off, work on your gadgets. You're really good at those bombs and everything else. And she's like, I don't need time off. He's like, go work on your gadgets. Like he's like, don't mess with me right now. You've been messing up too much, girl. So get your shit in order. So you see her, and she's like, she's upset. She's like in like her kind of underground kind of hideout thing, which is like on this giant fan. It's weird, like in this giant exhaust port thing that she's in, and she kind of like made this thing her home. And she's tossing bombs off of it, like flipping out. Like that's how she's venting. She's exploding things.
When she said that thing about sisters, I was thinking all I need her to say is puddin', and it will be like the cherry on top.
Right? Holy shit! Yeah, it's good. I like her more than Harley, to be honest.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just funny.
Yeah, I love the original Harley. Later on, I think they screw up the character.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's got that vibe for sure.
But how can you not understand it, right? She thinks she saves her sister, kills her family. The last time she sees her sister slaps her upside the head after yelling at her, I told you not to, and calls her Jinx.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And here we have Jinx, who is definitely, could be Harvey Dent, for fuck's sake, Two-Face, because she literally doesn't know what she's doing half the time. But the other time, you kind of have to justify it because of look what they let. And again, look at the world. Again, we're just learning the world. We're seeing some Game of Thrones stuff and world building massively upcoming here. But just the character herself, we've passed, however many years now. Mm-hmm. She's been in Zuko's care, and we know that can't be good because it's evident.
And that's the thing too. He became like her father figure.
Yeah,
because he was going to kill her in the end of episode 3. He wanted the sister first, and then found out that she's left alone, and he's staring at the body now of a guy who's essentially like a brother to him. that Vander guy, and she's like, he has a heart for as evil as he is. He's like, I can't leave her by herself like that, because she lunges at him and hugs him, and it's like she starts crying and breaking down. My sister left me. She's not my sister anymore. You know, that's when he takes her in, basically at that moment, because he has some of his gang members are around him, and they think like he's about to kill this kid. Holy shit! Like, but he doesn't. He took her in. So she wants to prove herself, like, you know, like a daughter would to a father. Like, no, I know I'm better than this. I'm gonna show him. I got an idea. I got a plan. I'm gonna do something. So we end up cutting now to Mel, the counselor chick, the black chick with the gold on her, with the gold tattoos, which I like her character too. I think they did a really good job writing her. She's more of a Game of Thrones type of character.
Yeah.
And
the whole council is like, it's
totally.
It's political, like Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. And how she's manipulating them too, and you find out all that in this episode, which is great.
Mhm.
So she's with her assistant, and she's talking to the assistant about basically like going after Jace. She loves how smart he is and how high he kind of grew as a scientist and everything. And she has other plans for him. She knows he could do more, and you know, and she's basically like saying that Heimerdinger, the little professor, he's a council member as well, and he's too old. Like, we need fresh blood. We need people who are going to look into the future to make big changes, and you know, it's going to benefit the city even further. So, you know, I mean, you could see, like, you know, Jace is kind of at odds a little bit, but he still has this respect thing for the professor and, you know, all the tech and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
I think
because
that-
oh, sorry, go ahead, Tina.
I think that Mel kind of rubbed me the wrong way though, because it sounds like she's only for the rich above ground people.
Yep.
And the fact that she wants things to be easier and better for them, where excuse me, that Jace wants to make the average person's life better.
yeah, he
That's
wants
why I'm kinda
he wants
surprised to get-
everyone. Yeah, Jace is almost like a Trump-like thing. I want everyone to prosper hugely, greatly,
Mhm.
not just us
Exactly.
rich folks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's really cool. But yeah, because that character too in this episode, you see how she almost comes off like not so much cold-hearted but dismissive of the poor, but at the same time, like there's moments that happen in these episodes where you could see like it's opening up a path where she's okay, like she's seeing what's going on, because like Victor, what happens to him, she wants to be kind of mean to Jace at a certain point, but we're gonna get there. But yeah, she finds out
She's kind of a bitch.
she is at this point. She is, because the character.
I mean, you can
does-
see why. I mean, she's in the upper class. She's looking for. Look, man, she's Game of Thrones in it the whole time from day one.
Sure.
I see this, and I'm like, she's you know, and I do like the other gal on the council with the necklace that ticks.
Yeah.
They're fun designs. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff.
That was kind of a cool design.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. There's so much different stuff, and that's what I like, because it's a fantasy world, so you could play with these aspects. You could have fun like that. But
and the council isn't just all women. There's men, women, and robots even.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so what's his name, Jace? He's gonna kind of do this kind of performance for the bicentennial, and he's about to unveil the stabilized hex crystal thing, and he's going to show this hex tech, and he's looking over at the professor, he's looking over at Mel, like she's like excited because like they had a little conversation beforehand, and she wants him to unveil his new invention, and the professor's like, you know, doubtful and everything, and like this is a bad idea. He ends up siding with the professor, and he doesn't show it. So he's like, yeah, and everyone's like, well, they're waiting for the big reveal, and he's like, but, you know, what we did so far is amazing, and everyone's kind of applauding him. He does a good speech anyway, but he doesn't show anything new at this bicentennial. So it's later in the night now.
And Mel is not happy about that.
Yeah, she's pissed. The professor, he seems content, like, okay, Jace.
Wasn't it Catherine's mother, too, wasn't very happy?
Yeah, I think, because she's one of the ones who the money.
Her mom's on the board, too, and those two stormed off together, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah. I think you're right. Which again, it's good because like you could see the kind of the power thing. She's like, you know, maybe Caitlyn's mom's a little Pelosi like, You know, she's like,
okay, all right. We don't need to compare everybody to current politics.
well, it kind of works. I mean, it's
It
politics
is
and
kind of
everything,
fitting
but
just a skosh.
oh, come on. Hold on. You don't think Caitlyn's mom would be doing insider trading? I think she does.
Oh my god.
Hypothetically.
Wait a minute, Trina, you haven't got through all of this yet, have you?
But,
4, 5, and 6. I'm up to. That's all I've watched though.
I got okay. Well, again, I'm gonna say I can't wait till you get through all of it, so I can hear the rest of. Boy, I can't wait to hear your views.
Hold on, see, R, he's hearing me out. See, but for people too who haven't seen it, those little connections I think kind of work. That's why I brought it up. But yeah, it's those type of people. So you kind of see the class difference there. But in the meantime, we see her daughter now. We see Kate. She's doing the security on the outside with like a couple of other people who don't seem to give a shit. Like, what are you doing here? Like, you're rich. Like, you don't have to be over here. Like, aren't you supposed to be with the higher class guarding them? And she's kind of downplaying it. And, you know, she's like, yeah, you could tell Caitlyn wants more out of this. She doesn't want to just be like, you know, the rich girl or whatever. She wants to actually have a purpose. And she likes being an enforcer. Like, she wants to be more like the detective type of, you know, she wants to solve this crimes and what's going on. So she spots a fire that's going on. She's like, she turns on, she yells at them, so they all run with her. She's like, "There's a fire!" So they run towards this kind of building that has like this big drapery over it, and you hear a girl's voice, a little girl's voice, going, "Help me! Help me! I started the fire. I can't get out." And like they start to go in there. They got like, you know, fire extinguishers or something the equivalent to it, and they're trying to put out some of the fire. And as they're deeper in there, Caitlyn sees this big like monkey face that's painted on the wall, and you're hearing the voice now going from a little girl to more adult, saying, "Yeah, I started the fire, and I set these bombs here." And you see dangling these grenades with like these jaws and like a timer basically. And Caitlyn's like, "Get out!" She tries to run out of there. The other ones, they're too far in, and the jaws close, and that sets off the explosion. And again, the animation, what they did there was awesome.
Yeah.
And she goes flying out. The other ones, they all died inside. And she's trying to stand up, and she sees as she's about to black out, Jinx is walking into the Citadel part where they were supposed to guard. And Caitlyn passes out, and you know, Jinx kind of just goes right in there. And it was pretty intense. She slaughtered how many? I think like what, a dozen people now?
Yeah. I kind of remember because of the casket scene. Hell, Doc. But the best part was they didn't see the monkey face because it was all on fire till they put it out. And then when she saw it, they had what, 5 seconds, 10 seconds max?
Yeah, or less. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we got to get the hell out of here.
So that whole thing, the when they hear like this like young baby voice thing, she actually says, "Help! I'm a helpless little girl, and I've set this building on fire," and it transitions into like her actual voice.
Yeah,
that I thought was so well done.
Yeah, it was good, and you could see how frightening that she could be, or especially for the people who. Because at this point, there's not too many people who've really seen her. She kind of moves very quickly and in the shadows, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, because she's so underworld anyway. But she's being very brazen. She's done 2 attacks now on the surface and slaughtered a bunch of people. And this time she killed enforcers. So not just the Firefly people or like other underground fuckers. So you could see she's a force. She's
growing up, if you will, and maturing into quite the killer.
Oh, absolutely. So like we cut to the council, and like they're kind of flipping out and stuff, and they want to go after the underground people, you know. And Jace offers, he goes, "You know what?" He tells the council, "We should stop all tech right now. We close the hex gates," because he goes, what was stolen there? He goes, they stole her his notes, stole the stabilized gemstones. You know, like he goes, they're really worried now because they asked Jace, he goes, "Do you think that they would be capable of figuring out how to work this or use it for their advantage?" And they basically go, "Well, the underground, they've gotten so advanced as well. They've been splicing people. They've been doing, you know, other kind of cyber shit." And They said there's like a mad doctor down there too doing other experiments. So he goes, yeah, I think they could be able to figure it out. And basically, Jason's like, fine, we should shut all tech, until we could find the culprit and get the the stabilized gems back. And the rest of them are flipping out. Like he just made some enemies by saying that. The majority of it. What's that?
Nothing. I had to sneeze.
Bless you. So, so basically, with the enemies he's about to make there, because they're pissed. So you see like the little older guy that's sort of in Mel's pocket. He's flipping out, going, "Listen, I make all this money with the the import export going on with the hex gates. We can't close it." He goes, "Our people we're not going to have enough food," and he's making excuses because you could see there's more that's involved there. And Jace is like, "What about the safety of the people? Like they didn't care. They care about their bottom line." So he's pissed about that. But yeah, so we cut to Jinx, and she's like listening to music, and she's reading through his notes and everything, and she's all excited and happy, and you just hear in the background like a parent yelling at a child, like, lower your music, and just screaming at Jinx, and she's not hearing Jinx. He gets closer. He hits her stupid music off, and she turns around. That's me. And he's like, "What the hell did you do?" She's like, "What are you talking about? You killed like 6 enforcers. These more explosions." Like, he's flipping out at her. She's like, "It was all worth it." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And she hands him the perfect gemstone, and she sets off like a little firecracker basically. And she's like, "Happy Bicentennial Day!" And she's all excited, and he stopped yelling, and he's just looking at this thing like, what is this? So and her excitement, you could see he's already got his gears going. So that moment was great. Trina, was there something you were going to say about that?
Just that, like how maniacal she was when he was talking about how like many people she killed and everything, and she's like, "Yeah, I did," and she's like,
yeah,
just totally Harley Quinn is all I can think of.
Yeah.
And,
well, it was to me proven to her dad, right? Because she looks at him like a father, so that's the up and up. She made up for her mistake too.
Yeah, because she helps him stuff too. You could see like they have a bond. Because like when he was kind of reprimanding her earlier, and he's in his chair, like he's got like that messed up eye, and they use some of that shimmer to heal. Because like we saw in the other episodes, like it gives him an extra kind of like power or juice them up or whatever, but it kind of heals them as well. So he has a constant problem in his eye. So he's got like a dropper thing, but it's like a spike, and there's like a drop of shimmer in it, and she helps him like take it, and it's pretty cool how they did that. Because he needs it. He needs it for the pain. It's basically like his crutch in a way too. So, and also like that extra importance that she has by helping him out, even in the small ways. But yeah, it's really good.
Kill her.
Yeah, right. So we have Kate, who she's okay, and Jace goes to see her, and she's still trying to figure out the attack and everything. And she sees a connection between which she found on the ship and the like the drawing and the explosion and all that stuff. And she's like, Jace comes in and he's like, "Oh, you're okay." And she's like, yeah, I'm fine, but I think I know who this is, and I think it's the same attacker, and blah blah blah. And as she's talking to him, he kind of the way that their dialogue went, she finds out that he's a council member, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, right." He's like, "No, they swore me in today." She's like, "What?" Yeah, because that's what happened. Mel pushes that to the rest of the council. She's like, well, she saw how noble he was, that he was ready to, stop all of the hex tech and everything he's been working on, his life's work essentially, to help the people. So she goes, I could use this to my advantage, basically, and they vote him in. And
they give him a house. It's House Talus now.
Yep.
Yes, he just moved up the classes, and look at how much she's just sharpening the knife and the fork, man.
Basically, yeah, because she even got Heimerdinger on board, and because Heimerdinger, he was like, because he saw the nobleness of him as well, going, "Oh, wait, you're willing to stop everything you've been working on?" He's like, "Yeah, if it means saving people." And he's like, "Okay, I'll vote him in. He's got my vote."
And again, he's a scientist just like him, and that's where I was going, wait a minute. Like, and I'm not going to say anything, but that was my wake up moment when all of a sudden I saw her, and her comment was, "He's the same as the founder." I'm like, okay, and that'll go somewhere. Like I said, I'm not going to say anything now, but man, I'm telling you, like I heard that, and I'm like, I don't trust her.
Right. R said he could use some shimmer. I think we all could be honest.
Really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at first I thought the shimmer was coming out of his eyeball from being poisoned and I know it's not, but like I said, it took me a few times of watching it to hear everything. And again, when I watched it all the way through, it did make more sense because, dogs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. If you got some distractions for sure, yeah. Because like I said, I had a few distractions when I watched it the first time around, and there's things I missed as well. So going back over it again is awesome. And like I said, this series is fantastic, the way they've been doing it. So where were we? So so Kate and Jace are kind of talking, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a council member now," and she's like, "Well, that's great and all, but like I know I could solve this case. I know we could get our culprit." She's like, "Well, you don't have a job." She goes, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Yeah, you were fired. Basically Marcus wants her out of there and all that. So he was going to set her up in another position that's basically almost like the equivalent to like a desk job." Because he goes, "You almost died. You almost got blown up. Everyone else died." And she's like, "Get the hell out of here." Like she was pissed, and he leaves, and she's still trying to figure it out. And she's looking at like the little map that she had, kind of pointing the attacks and everything. And she knows it. Like she brought, or they brought Locke, the big guy with the tattoos. They brought him into the prison. So she wants to go interview him. And basically, like they cut to that, and you see her going there and kind of talking to like basically like the security guard of the prison. And that guy was great. His design and how he was acting was awesome.
How he was drawn. But before you go ahead, she was pissed. She was pissed that she's sitting there telling him, "I can prove it." And he goes, "How? You can't use theory." And then, he offers her the job, and she's like, "But it's a desk job." And it was insulting to her that he would even offer it, even though he just moved up. It's like, but it's and again, you see, remember, he is like, well, MNF and Death Wish, dude. Like, she needs to get away from Jace, because every time she's by him, she's been exploded once by his apartment, now a fire and an explosion. While she's got on, and mind you, she's kind of snobby, but she's also a detective. She's doing half this, and it's beautiful to see because where it goes.
Oh, yeah.
But it's all wrote, again, what you need to we saw her at the very beginning with him. We see they moved up together. Now he's moving up higher, trying to bring her with him because at the end of the day, I at first thought that he had a thing for her. That's what it kind of seems like, like right in here where we're at. So I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense too. Plus, even if it was more of the friendship thing, like Trina, you and I, like I said, you kind of are like a sister, something like along those lines, even, So I was like, okay, this is really good. But she was pissed.
Oh, she was furious. Yeah, because you could tell like the mother was already staging everything. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna be with Jason, and like you can almost see it, like the mother kind of orchestrating shit for her life. Decepticon King, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Decepticon, no problem, buddy.
Yeah. So we have Caitlin. She goes to that prison and she's talking to the guard basically, and she's like, I need to interview one of the inmates here, someone we just brought in, and he's like, oh, that's gonna be hard to do. And she's like, what are you talking about? Was he transferred somewhere? No, he's here. He just can't talk right now. And she's like, what do you mean he can't talk? He's like, well, there was an incident. What kind of incident? And they cut, and you see him eating his slop, like at the mess hall thing or whatever. And you just see like a hand with a tray coming towards him, and he gets slammed in the face. So he goes, another inmate we have problems with usually. Well, once he could start talking again, basically, you can come back. And she's like, well, who did this?
Yeah, why can't he talk?
Right. So she wants to go talk to the individual who basically broke this guy's jaw or whatever. So she goes down there, and you just hear like something being hit over and over. And we get to the jail cell. She goes all the way down the line, and it's almost like solitary confinement type of thing, like the type of like you see the cages next to one another, but this one's like so by itself. And you see like the back, and there's tattoos and stuff all over this person's arm. You could see it's a woman. Clearly, you could see it's a woman, Chris. This person's, she's punching this wall. She turns around. She said, "What the hell do you want?" It's Vi. So we find out Violet, Powder's sister, has been in prison for a while now. And so that's where they end the episode. And like the shot was really cool too. I love that kind of over the shoulder, and again, it's almost like Clarice going to go see Hannibal Lecter kind of thing. Like she's walking all the way down. It's just a cell by itself.
Yes. Oh my God! Now that you mention it, now I see it.
Right. It's so good. I mean, there's so many like good throwbacks and stuff. Like the creative team behind this, they know what they were doing. So so we end up finding out that she's been in that prison since Marcus. Basically, he saved her life. That enforcer, when he put the chloroform on her, so like Silco wouldn't kill her. He didn't know anywhere to stick her, so he threw her in prison. And technically, she was supposed to be arrested anyway for what had happened with Jace's apartment.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and she's been there, but we find out later he kind of says a different story to Silco. So, so we open up with Kate as a teenager. And she's doing like a shooting contest, like in the forest in the snow, and someone else is, they're kind of doing it at the same time, and it's almost like they're trying to see who gets the first shot off. It's like a series of targets that they're hitting as they're kind of going through this forest. And by the time we get to the last target, Caitlin stops, she takes her breath, and she shoots it. They pan over, and it's the old sheriff enforcer. And I like that actress too. Did she get the voice like this?
Yeah.
She has a very distinct voice. Yeah, it took me a while to remember. Okay, I recognize the voice, but I don't remember from where. And then I look up IMDb, and I'm like, oh, from everywhere, basically.
Yeah, she's done everything. She was so good in The Penguin as well.
Yep.
In the Penguin series.
As soon as I heard her, I texted you. I'm like, oh, the gal from The Penguin's in her. You're like, who? And I'm like,
wait, I forgot which one you were talking about. I'm like, oh wait, that's right. I'm like, yeah, you're right, Adam. You're right. I mean, the model looks like her too, the way they designed it. So that was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But it's nice to see her again too, because I liked her character, and how she was basically had an agreement with Vander, and they're kind of keeping the peace underground. But since Vander died, we see how Silco kind of took over the underworld basically, and there's so many different factions now and more horrible shit down there. She was
stay alive, Benny. She's barbecued in the Penguin. Here she's slaughtered. I mean, goodness gracious,
Adam. Not everyone's seen the Penguin.
Well, by now they should have. I mean, come on. It's been a year.
But getting back to this, so she has she gave Caitlin props for her shooting, and Caitlin's like, "Did my parents pay you to have me win?" She basically won like a little trophy. She's like, "I'm the head enforcer. I don't need a trophy. Like, you did a great job, but I think you deserved it." She gave her that respect. So that was cool to see, and kind of like where the seed is planted for Caitlin wanting to be an enforcer. So kind of looking up to her. So like I said, every little bit makes sense. I don't care if it's a guy or a girl or whatever. The same situation, if you swapped out characters, you could see the same type of thing. That's why, to me, it doesn't matter as long as the story is there, and this story has everything. Good nods and figures that these, like the younger ones, were looking up to, and again, it makes sense to where they are now. But
it shows how she became a good shot.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Again, she's not just a little rich girl. She's someone who actually has some skills.
Yeah.
So yeah. What do you shoot for? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's great stuff.
It's that line she tells her before about the trophy, because she's like, I have to protect the people, or it was either what do you aim for, or I thought it was what are you shooting for. So I was just like, man, what a great line of dialogue right there in that little moment. Mm-hmm.
Again, solid writing, solid performances, and again, this is so cinematic too. Everything that they did on this show, it's brilliant. So it was really cool to kind of see all that, and again to see that character again. But she proves she's a great shot. She gets the respect and all that too, and her eyes on the ball now. But so we find out again, Vi, she's been in there for a number of years. She's the one who attacked that guy Locke. And we also find out through their dialogue that she's been having a really hard life. There's a reason why Vi is so tough, because she basically when Kate shows up, she's like, "Oh, who are you sending here to beat my ass now?" She gets beaten on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And this is why she made herself so tough. This is why she's doing like bare knuckle boxing basically in the prison there, trying to make herself stronger. And again, yeah, she's a little more she's muscle mommy-ish. I wouldn't say she's over the top, but yeah, she definitely has some muscle on her. And you could see she's Vander's kid. Vander was raising her.
You mean Vinny when you don't use steroids?
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's like
animated steroids.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, she just looks. That's what. If you were fighting for the last decade to stay alive every night, yeah, I think you would know how to throw a punch.
Yeah, it's it's crazy how they did that stuff. Shit, I gotta step away for a second. If anyone wants to jump in for a minute, I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead, Trina.
Take care of something. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Talk about how Vi basically how she has to defend herself down there, and kind of what's been going on. I'll be right back.
It makes it proof that it's not woke because again, it's written and it makes sense in my opinion. But ladies,
yeah.
My question about this episode was, what did I miss in the first 3 episodes that makes Silco bringing Jinx to the water, like almost to baptize her?
3rd episode.
So there was it just that fight between him and Vander?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Because that's where he was created. He let his weak side die, and as he explains to her coming up, But yeah, that's why.
Gotcha.
That's what he found himself, when he defeated the bigger man that should have killed him the first time and hesitated. And, he got a knife to the forearm, as we find out, or as it showed in that 3rd episode. So, yeah. And then it just to hear, I don't know, the whole thing with Vi, that's where it was weird, right? Because with even with Cotton as a kid, it didn't seem odd for me that she's not in the spotlight. She's behind the scenes doing stuff because that's what they did that we found out in the first 3 episodes anyway, being the little rugrats that they were. They hid up and ran up on the roofs rather than being in the street. So when she's Jinx and doing the stuff the way it's like the same thing, only knocked up to 11.
Yeah.
Very suicidal. And again, though, it made sense to me. I mean, if this is your father figure, look at what your family was to what this family is that she's with when we catch up with them,
Right. It was already a dysfunctional family to begin with, and then it's that much more.
Yeah. With the psychoticness of it all. Because again, remember, he had a rat. Zuko had a rat that killed a cat in the first episode.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, with that stuff, the drug that they were working on. So, I mean, there's sadistic stuff going on that this girl's now at a younger age even being exposed to with all these gangsters. After blowing the one's arm off, too, because I'm sorry, I think she wants to get her back anyway. That's why she's bitching and moaning to Zuko that Jinx is messing up. And, but she also has, an arm missing because of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely, she did some horrible things to that woman.
Yeah, well, we were just basically catching up on the why, we go from how everybody was and they were on the roofs as kids to now as adults, how, it made sense to me why we're not, Cotton did it as a kid. How is she going to do it as Jinx? Of course she's going to hide. It's the same, but it's different. You know what I mean? Because again, you have the psychoticness. So that's all I went with.
Yeah, it's good.
I wanted to get the ladies' perspective,
Oh, for sure. What's up, Cotton? How you doing, Papa Cotton?
We didn't pretty much go any further, though. I apologize.
Yeah. Oh, it's all good. We're staying on YouTube because again, I'm reviewing a series here with with my awesome friends. And this is something that we really enjoyed. And again, they did such a killer job.
We do psychology in this, man. I mean, it makes you think. And if you look at it, and again, that's just we're 5 episodes. We're on the 5th one now, right? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. The 5th. We're only 5 episodes in, and there's only 9, but there is just so much, and these are about 35, 38 minutes long. They're not that long of an episode.
They pack a lot into them.
In there.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So basically with the conversation they're having, like you could see again, Vi's she's been getting beaten on a regular basis, but she's been fighting back when she could. You can see it. She's pretty tough. She still has a lot of the skills that Vander taught her and everything. And now that she's a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger, yeah, she can kind of hold her own. But again, she's so used to it at this point, it doesn't really phase her. And so Caitlin, she's trying to get information out of like, why did you attack that dude? Like, what the hell? And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, who does he work for? He's like, Silco. Everybody knows that. Everyone works for him. She's Silco. She's like, who? The guy who's like, he's like an industrialist basically. She's like, she doesn't even realize. She goes, yeah, you know nothing about the underground. And Caitlin's kind of like, she's confused, but she stops for a minute and she has like a little notebook and she took like her photos and things. And she shows her a picture of like drawing like that monkey face or something, or one of those things. She goes, do you happen to know what this is? And like Vi, she jumps and she grabs the bar. She's like, where'd you get that? Like she starts flipping out because she recognizes it's her sister's drawings. She's like, this was at a couple of the crime scenes. I got a feeling this person's involved in these things, and I need help. I need, I need to question more people in the underground. She's like, they'll eat you alive down there. Like, you don't know what you're going to do. And it's like, and one enforcer is going to go down there. Like, you're never going to come back up. So you see Caitlin, she realizes, yeah, she's right. So she goes back to that guard, in the, the one who kind of told her about this individual. And she's like, actually there's been a change of plans and I need to transfer a prisoner. There's like basically like a pardon she's gonna give, and she's like, wait a minute, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Do you need us to go talk to her again? She's like, what do you mean? Like rough her up. And he's like, how often do you do this? He's like, oh, well, to be honest, I never thought of counting.
I never kept count. I never kept count.
She basically getting her ass beat by other inmates and the guards.
Yeah.
So Vi's been having a real tough life, and you could see like Caitlin's like it's comical, but at the same time you can see she's like, holy shit, like this.
Yeah, she's like mortified.
Yeah,
the horror on the animated face and the way she's like, no, oh no, I have release papers. It's like, oh my goodness. I mean, it just in the way that they captured that, like he's just like it's an everyday thing. They don't talk much down here. Don't worry, we'll kick the shit out of him so they don't. He won't have no teeth, so he can't eat no corn.
Yeah, that's great stuff. By the way, it's Decepticon. Yeah, if anyone's on Rumble, go ahead, hit that link. He said he's selling some of his stuff.
I figured that was YouTube friendly enough, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Hey, look, y'all know me, so I'm working really, really hard here.
Oh, I know. You're doing a great job, Al.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Yeah,
I've got my filter on like 10 times X,
Yeah, you didn't tell anyone to Minecraft any politicians. It was awesome.
Yeah. Poor Adam. We are keeping him very safe for YouTube.
That's right. And I appreciate it greatly.
PG, baby.
So basically, Caitlin, she has a piece of paper with Jace's signature and goes, like, listen, I have a pardon basically from this counselor. She's like, when did he become a counselor? She's like, today. And he's like, huh. Oh, okay, I guess. So, Caitlin goes back down there, and the gate opens up, and Vi's kind of surprised. She's like, "What the hell?" And so she's going to be helping her go underground basically and get answers. So she freed her, and the two of them they're kind of be working together to figure this out, which is pretty cool. I mean, again, she saved her from getting her ass beat nonstop since she was like 14 or 15, whatever it is. So that was very noble of Kate, and again, she wants to stop this lunatic who's killing people and hurting everyone. So
Caitlyn is a really good, like, she's a good person.
she is.
It's a heck of a character too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Such a great, and the voice acting again, it's so on par. Like I can't picture another voice coming out of that character when you see like the model.
I know.
Well, maybe it's me, but maybe you guys caught it too. But it's the way she's your every girl, but not every person. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we've got from her beginnings, and she's a helper, and we know she's loaded, but she now can't talk to the guy, and we see she kind of forges her own path as well. But it's just something about her mannerisms and everything that where you would just feel comfortable, or again when she was in the, and I'm just basing it off what we've seen, the way she was with the group of normal losers that would be guarding, and they're expecting her to be up in the ivory tower, but she's happy to be down there doing the job with the crew, or
doing the footwork,
being one of the team, if you will. Even though they're still not really accepting her or understanding, and of course they all get barbecued anyway. So but it's just her as a character is what I've witnessed so far, even to this point. Like you really want to be on her side because you really want to get to the end and figure everything out too.
Yeah,
she has no problem hanging out with a great unwashed.
Yeah.
Well, I like too that she's not super overpowered. I mean, she can keep up with Vi, but she wasn't all of a sudden magically this upper class person who could do parkour.
Yeah, exactly.
She's fit, she's healthy, but still.
That is funny. Because as they go down to the under. That's pretty funny. But we'll get to that in a sec. I don't want to leave out. We do cut to Marcus giving a speech over the killed enforcers. And so he's at a cemetery.
That was so well done.
It was, and your heart kind of goes out for him too. Like, he was a bastard in the other episodes, but you could see now, it's all coming around, and he's like, this is seriously messed up. And afterwards, like you could see, he has a little daughter that I think her name was Ren. And he takes her over basically to like the
grave.
The grave of what's her face, the previous sheriff.
Oh, Grayson.
Yeah, that's Grayson. And the daughter goes, "Who's this, Daddy?" And he's like, "A good woman." Like you could see, like he wants to turn it around now. He knows what he did for all these years has been horrible. So he does go to Silco. And he basically he's flipping out. He wants Jinx arrested, and I think prior to Jinx showing Silco what she has with that gem and everything, I think he was almost willing to give her up. But because she has that technology and knows that she could work this thing, he's not flinching, and he's like, no. We know we have the Fireflies who've been attacking, and he gives like one of the bombs that goes, "You tell the council members that it was the Fireflies, and everyone's happy." He goes, "No, you're happy." And he's like, "Don't forget all the things we've been doing together and how much money you've been making, and your status, how it grew." Basically reminding him, "You were nothing without me." That type of thing. Yeah. So like you see like one of his henchmen there gives him like a bag full of coins. He goes, "Here, this is for the families. Tell him it was an anonymous donor that feels sorry for them or whatever." So he takes it begrudgingly, and you can see he's still pissed. So
and it's a slimy relationship, whereas when Grayson was working with Vander, it was more
respect.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, because again, Grayson knew Vander could keep the underground under control. People respected him. That's what goes a longer way. When you just have the scummy people there trying to see who can make the most money, you can see how shit falls apart. So it's really good. Like I said, the writing's great. That's why I love that aspect of it, because it does feel almost street level, mafia like.
The split scene too, because Suko's sitting there, gives the guy a bomb, which we all know somebody's played with or created for this, right? Like you look at it, you see Jinx's handwriting all over it, right? The bomb.
But at this point, only the underground know of Jinx.
Right. I just meant though, like you could tell it was massively like, he's putting this in play, Game of Thrones style, is what I was trying to get to.
Oh, no, you're
and
right.
The balls on him to give him, and then, you're going to do the heroic thing, and then he doesn't.
No, that was later, actually. That's right. Yeah, he says that. Yeah, we'll like because at that point he's not handed the bomb.
But he handed it to him at this point. Okay, my fault. I got
yeah.
If I got
a little bit later.
Yeah, it was a little bit later. That's
Yeah.
right.
I thought it was right here.
Yeah, no, I goofed.
I'm sorry.
I think he showed it to him, but he didn't give it to him yet.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, Adam, my God, it's fine.
We're gonna make you do the walk of shame, and they're gonna throw fruit and things at you in fecal matter, just like what's her face from there.
Right.
No.
Cersei.
Cersei.
Yeah.
Cersei.
But yeah, so at that point, Marcus leaves with the money, and right away Silco's like, Jinx better figure this out quick, this technology, because it's like he knows he's kind of running out of time too, and he wants her to get the one up on these people, because shit's gonna have to be going down soon. So we cut to Victor and Jace as well, and they're pretty pissed off what's going on.
They're arguing about the timing. Like, okay, so remember how Heimerdinger was like, no, you should wait on announcing like how far Hextech has come, and Jason was gonna like, because Mel was like, no, you should tell the people and stuff, and then at that rally or whatever you call it, Jace decided to stick with Heimerdinger, and he didn't. He just kind of said some platitudes, and now Victor and Jace are arguing about the timing of that, because Victor wants the he wants things to speed up, and we found out
why. Yeah.
Yes.
Which at that moment, that's when we first see what happened.
Yeah.
Kind of what he's going through. But yeah, so Marcus comes in while they're arguing, and Marcus basically like he relays the message. Silco is going, we're onto a group. Like you could hear them, like it starts to trail off as we pan over to Victor. But you hear him say, there's a group called the Fireflies that they did the attack on the ship and blah 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 blah. And then Victor's kind of like he's kind of going out of it. And he starts coughing, and he coughed up blood, and like he stops and like he holds the rail, and Jace is like, Victor, you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. I need to get back to my office, and he kind of just runs out of there, or stumbles out of there with this cane. So you could see Victor ain't doing well. Something's definitely wrong, and they even did it like with the colors too, like in his face. He's more gaunt and pale, and it's kind of sad too, seeing that character kind of going through the shit he's going through.
This reveal, so this was good. When we first sit down to watch the series, like when I was sitting down and watching it at first, and we first meet Victor, I kept thinking he's got an alternate agenda going on here. I'm not sure if I trust him, and then finding out that his agenda is because of his health. Mm-hmm. Like they actually built that up well. They
did. I really liked it, because it also makes sense why he kind of he went against Heimerdinger and actually gave Jace a chance and helped them with his with the equations basically. And like, no, I think we could do. I think we could do more. So that was really cool.
Especially with did you think I only wanted to be an assistant?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Line, that was like, and again with them falling in love with the science and figuring it out together, and this could work. Look, if we do this, that. The other part of the brain that was missing, if you will.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because then we do in episode 6 we get a little bit more into Victor's background, which is really cool how they did that. But before we get there, we do cut back to Jinx, and she's studying Jace's notes. And she's talking to she basically built like a metal fake doll of like a Milo, and it's sitting like on a little sofa with its feet up, and she's like talking like as if it's really there. And she's like, yeah, I think I figured this out. And there's like these little runes and stuff, and this gem's supposed to power it. So she goes, let's give it a shot. She goes to turn it on, and when she does, there's like a little mini kind of like spark or explosion. Well, not really explosion, but there was something that happens, and she starts getting flashbacks of the broken crystals, and it all comes flooding back to her all at once. This is the same shit, and she flips out. She starts crying. She kicks it. She's like, and she's seeing the dead friends again. The explosion in her sister's voice, and And we find out there too, the doll that Vi, the bunny rabbit that she got from the other episode, like she saved it for her and gave it to her in episode 3 and told her, you can't come with us, whatever. She still has it. And that's what's sitting on the floor. They kind of pan over to it. So I thought that was cool too, those little details.
Yeah.
But you could see that she's having like a nervous breakdown. She wants nothing to do with this shit anymore.
Yeah, doesn't she even say something like, "Oh my god, I killed all those people"?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like it broke through her brain what she's actually been doing, and now we have powder instead of jeans.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great. Like I said, I like the torment of the character and what she's still struggling with. Like they did a good job. But yeah, we do have Vi and Kate, like they're about to go into the underground, and there's basically like a little vehicle thing that they could take to go down there. And Vi's like, no, the only way to do it is like this. And she basically does parkour to get down there. And Kate's like, what? And then you see an old man who gets like on this trolley to go down there. So then we see, Vi's jumping off stuff. It looks really cool. And, she does a little flip lands down there. And she even beat up 2 people. So she took like the coat from one guy and another, basically like a disguise for Kate, because she's down there as an enforcer. So she wanted her to cover up a bit so they can't tell that she's an enforcer.
Yeah.
So, but you see Kate finally gets down there. She kind of had to climb down, and she can't do parkour like the other one. So she's huffing and puffing, and you see the little old man gets off the trolley, and they arrive at the same point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm so glad I caught that on the first run, dude. I died laughing.
Yep.
I was like, I'm taking the thing. I could just hear her, but no, we're going to do this. And there goes the little old guy right past her.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
And then she dropped down.
Yeah, the tortoise in the
My
hair.
sister
Kind of
could
Yeah.
do it when she was 4 or 6 or whatever the
Yep.
line.
Yeah, because Kate, she's panting, she's huffing and puffing. She's like, my sister could have done that. She gives her the coat and everything, and they go to get some food or whatever, and she's stuffing her face. She's like, we came down here so you could eat. Like I knew this was a mistake, and this is just retarded. And basically, when she's done with her meal, she's complimenting this monster chef guy, whatever, who's making this crap. He slips her a piece of paper with like a little logo on it. It's basically to a brothel, and she's like, see, this is how it's done. Like, you're nice to people, and and they know me, whatever. Because the guy was genuinely happy to see her, and he's not speaking proper English.
Thing, Vinny. The prison food, we're here to eat. Yeah, have you ever had prison food? No, I mean, like, she burns little Richie rich bitch like left and right. And
basically, yeah.
Chef, how could you not love that alien chef who itches his ass and they're talking about the meat he's cooking?
Yeah,
It's questionable.
yeah, and she's there licking her fingers like, oh, this is the best.
Yeah.
I haven't had this since I was a kid.
And Caitlin goes, aren't you going to question him? And she goes, what, about the meat?
Yeah.
Man, I mean, the way it was wrote, you could just sit there and it doesn't matter if you're 4 or 49 like me. I loved it.
Yeah,
like every bit of this.
The banter is great. Yeah, everything it works. So she gets the intel. They go to this brothel. So yeah, like I said, they did a good job with that stuff. Let's see. Who was I? Yeah, because she basically, they get to the little brothel area, and she wants to lose Caitlin so she could have a proper conversation. So she kind of goes like, this is like a fantasy place for anybody. Like, who do you want to be? You want a guy? You want a girl? What you think? She's like, what? And she goes, what are you talking about? And like, she kind of corners her. She puts her arm around like on the wall beside her. She's face to face to her, and she's like, listen, you're hot. You could do anything you want. You can get whatever you want. Like, she's playing her a little bit so that she grabs someone who's walking by who's got a mask on. You can't tell what it is. And she's like, yeah, you got to play the part, basically. And she's, well, what's your name? Matilda. And but you could call her anything that you want to call her tonight. And she said, yeah, my mother called me Matilda because of blah, blah, blah. She's just kind of hamming it up. So Vi, she could go talk. So she could go talk to the head madam there or whatever, which again, she knew when she was a kid. So when she walks in there, she's like, oh my, Vi, is that you? So they're having a conversation basically. And She goes, I feel horrible. What happened to Vander and the boys? And like we all heard about it. Because again, at that point, we don't know for certain until that conversation how long Vi was truly in there, and it was that entirety of the time when Marcus took her. Because she's like, yeah, because we thought you died too or whatever, and like we didn't know. And she's like, it's not your fault. It's And she goes, well, what the hell happened? She goes, no one stood up to Silco. They kind of thought when Vander went, we needed a new leader, and he was basically like, they had worked together at a certain point, and he just kind of took over, that type of thing. And you could see how much change and how kind of screwed up all that stuff was. But so she gets some intel from her about like her basically like the second in command, which is Svika. And we'll see that in a minute. But we cut back to Victor, and he's working out the runes and the puzzles. Like it's almost like a magical kind of Rubik's Cube
puzzle?
Kind of thing.
Yeah,
like a Rubik's Cube where he's figuring it out. Like he goes, there's a code here we could break with these runes, and he's got these extra kind of handles, and it's floating above him, and he's twisting. You see all the pieces moving. He's trying to figure it out. He knows that he could, but it's difficult for him. And while he's doing that, you see like an assistant come by, this little chick, and you can see she clearly has a major crush on him. And he's being very dismissive. She's like, "What? You're gonna stay here all night again?" And she's like, "I could help." And he's, "No, you better go home." And she's like, "You sure? I mean, you could walk me home if you'd like." Like you can see, she really likes him. She's like, "Come on, idiot, come with me." And he's very dismissive because we know he's kind of on borrowed time, and he's fixated on figuring this out. So she leaves, and as she does, he's starting to black out again. He starts coughing up the blood, and he falls out of the chair, and the blood's still on the table. And you can see like the magic is like kind of sparking towards it and pulls the blood that came out of his mouth that's on the table into it. And as that's going on, like we see Mel and Jace, because I think I did miss a part there because I believe before we get to all that,
I had a question on the previous scene too.
Yeah, because we got Mel and Jace are at the Opera House, and she's basically telling him how it all works. Yeah, she's like, wait a minute, I thought those two counselors, they didn't like each other, and you see they're sitting together, and like, no, they have the same penchant for this and that. And you could see how she's teaching them how to play the game, basically.
Yeah,
and that
how to be a politician.
Yeah, who the players are, even if you will.
Who's greasing whose palms, who's friendly with who, and for what reasons. And she's like, see, like you, this is what you have to learn. Because she goes, what you did was bad, and like, you don't. We want to make them our friends, not our enemies, type of thing. So she kind of breaks it down, and I like it's good how like she's clearly manipulating him, but at the same time, it is something he needs to learn.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a great like how to like oh you've been elected to serve in Washington D.C. This is how it works.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Trina taking it back to the politics of tip.
You're welcome.
But it's good. The scene's great, and the music too that they're playing, like it's pretty cool how they did all that. So but we get back to Jinx, and she needs to clear her head. She goes back to like the old hideout, basically, where they were all kids, and when they were all still alive there. And as she gets back in there, you can still see she's sadistic in a way. Like a crow lands and she pulls out her gun. She's looking at him funny, and she kills it anyway. She's broken, but as she's going through like the whole thing, like no one's been in there for years, and she sees the old machine that Vi used to box on and train with, that Vander basically helped her with, and so she powers it back up, and she starts like. She's getting pissed, and she starts kicking, punching. She's not just boxing it; she's doing whatever just to like hit it. And you see the numbers are going up. And by the time she's done with it, she's right underneath. Her score's right underneath Vi's score, and she's still like she can't match up to her sister. And she gets pissed and just shoots the thing and like walks away. But you can see again, she's working through it. She's trying to, and she's still all messed up in the head. Which
very Tyler Durden, if you will. Too.
Yeah,
it reminds me a lot of Fight Club, like because if you black out and then don't remember anything, you know what I mean? Like that made. And I have a question though, real quick, before you go any further, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Because I want to know if you three caught this too, or if it's just me. When Vi is talking to the shop owner and she's talking about her sister, the look on the shop owner's face, because I believe that the shop owner knows that it's, Jinx. Did you guys get that too, or no?
The shop owner.
The hooker, the madam.
The madam.
Because she's like, I gotta find my sister, thank you. But that look she gives her afterwards, the interaction, like, she doesn't tell her sister is with Suko and is okay. I wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one that caught that.
Yeah, you could tell she might know something more, but she's only giving up. She's giving up Svika. Like, that is that's a good catch, because you could tell it's almost like she's almost looking at her as like a daughter type thing. She doesn't want to break her. If she's gonna hear it, it's gonna have to be later. I got that sense. I wouldn't say 100%, but definitely 75%. Like I like you get a good sense of it that she knows more. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, it was just the way they animated the way she looked. That was the response about the sister, and then when she talked, it just. And again, it was just like I said, man, the art within the art.
Yeah.
What about you, ladies? That's how I saw it. And I'm like, holy shit! You can tell there's something. I think she knows more, because she's definitely. She didn't know. And that. And again, when I watched it, and again, if you guys watch it, because I've watched it like 10 times. It's one of those things. Once you start watching, I just can't stop. Like Olay's potato chip. But
Trina, yeah. Did you catch that? Did you get a sense that she might know more?
No, actually, I'm totally missed that. I'm gonna go back and watch that and see if I see it after Adam has mentioned that.
Yeah, that's
same here.
Yeah, because then I think about that, and the other thing too about the one who voiced that brothel one, she did pass away.
Oh.
And in season 2, they give like a respectful kind of nod to the character, which I thought was really classy too, considering what went into the series as a whole. Like, to make time to give that character a moment was really cool too. So,
that is neat.
Yeah, they're good stuff. Like I said, they did such a fantastic job, and you could tell these people really they enjoyed and cared about everything that went into this.
Yeah.
So where was I? Yeah. So we were around the point where Jinx. Yeah, you could tell she still feels like she's in the shadow of her sister almost. But
still can't thinks she's better than, and then still can't beat her top score. So she shoots it and blows the whole thing up,
Yeah. So, and going back to Jason Mel, basically, after kind of training him almost how to play the game, he has a moment with one of the other counselors, and you could see he's doing a good job. He puts on the bullshit face and gets one of the counselors on his side right off the bat. So you can see Mel's very content with it, and oh wow, he might be better than I thought, that type of thing. So. Yeah. That he's playing the game well. Because you could tell that Mel definitely wants to advance stuff, and she needs him to do it.
She definitely wants to advance stuff.
Yeah, she does. Well, she had some lines earlier too when she was talking with the girls and saying that she wanted Jace. There was some stuff and some dialect in there, but now I'm too stoned to remember. Yeah. But
that's all good.
But there was some good stuff in there about which we find out later with her mother, which it throws back when we get to meet her mom to what she said in there.
Yeah.
And I apologize.
I know, Adam, you're very excited to get we still got a ways before we get to any of that
know,
stuff.
But I'm just, and again, without spoiling anything, it's something about her lineage that she says in this episode.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean too. Anyone who has been watching these, and if you do, go back after you watch the second season, you are going to pick up on a lot more, and you could see how the series ties into itself even better. Because
it's what I'm babbling about.
Yeah. Again, it's great. It's so freaking good. So we cut back to Vi as she's leaving the brothel, and she looks she hears giggling and laughing. She looks in, and you see Kate. She's sitting now with a really pretty chick, and you can see she's really into what's going on. So Vi kind of smiles, and she puts her hood on. And she's like, okay, I'll leave her in here. So she goes because now she has she finds out where Svika is, and Svika's sitting there playing cards and shit. And she's like, she won her hand, and then out of nowhere, they're actually playing the song, the enemy song. And
yeah, the opening song. This was where the band is in the
band
episode.
They animated the band in there, which was great.
So cool.
I love that.
Jim had to point that out to me because I'm like, if any music that's come out since like the mid to late 1990s, I just don't know it.
Yeah.
I didn't know it only just from this thing, but when you saw him playing the music, and I assumed it was the actual band got themselves animated in there. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Oh, it was cool. They said that they did other tracks and stuff too for the video game. Like they said they're massive fans, so that was really cool if they did.
This makes me want to check out the video games now.
Yeah. So as you hear the music playing and they're showing some of them, Svika wins her hand. All of a sudden, you see a knee come out of nowhere and just like clocks her in the face. Svika goes flying, onto the floor, and she looks up. She's like, "Vi?" She's like, "Get your ass up!" And they start throwing down, and Vi is beating the shit out of her. And then she gets slammed down, and Svika throws off like that sheet she had, like the poncho she has on, and you see her new arm basically, and it's all this metal contraption, and it has like shimmer like in the shoulder, like in a containment unit. It kind of goes up and down and into her, and you see her eyes start like to glow pink and stuff, and she has more power, and she's just like she's coming at her, and they're having a good fight. I'll say that. And you could tell almost like Svika isn't expecting like how good of a fighter Vi is. And so like it looks like it's almost like a stalemate kind of thing. And but Vi she's got a lot of fight in her because again, she's had her ass beat for years. So she could keep going. And she does a drop kick to Svika, and she goes like flying out the front door, like busting it. Vi jumps on top of her, and she's like strangling her, and she's going, "Where the hell's my sister? You know where she is?" And basically, Svika, she says it. She goes, "Your sister?" She goes, "You talking about Jinx?" And she's like, "What?" And she kind of let go of her a little bit, like she loosens her grip around her throat. She's like, "Oh, she's Silco's. She works for Silco." She's like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, she goes, "She's like his daughter." And that made Vi freeze. And at that moment, Svika takes her metal hand and like jabs it into Vi's ribs, like busting skin. Like she's got to be like 4 fingers, deep into her gut.
Oh, easy 4 fingers.
Yeah. It was pretty vicious. And like she gets the upper hand.
All because Vi has
literally.
Hesitating just doesn't work well in this era here. Because we saw it in the previous 3 episodes, what happens when you hesitate, and you see here what happens when you hesitate.
Yeah,
you'll see hesitate more later throughout the episode.
Yeah, it's great. So she's standing over her like that. She's about to give her a death blow. She's like, "I'll give your sister your regards," and she's about to come down, and just murder Vi. And Kate shoots at her, and she shoots that canister thing on her shoulder. And Svika looks up like all terrified, and 2 more shots into that arm, and Svika runs down like an alleyway, gets shot again. So she runs off, and that was a pretty damn cool scene too.
It drove me insane though, like because she only shot her in the arm, and I'm thinking, okay, and again I know there's a reason, why, because this character must live. And you find out why later. But at this point, right where you're at, I'm going, okay, really, you're already in the armpit, if you will, of the world, where even if you did drop her, you would be justified because she just about killed the person that you got out of jail that, that you're working with to do the case.
Yeah.
Like a police dog, if you will.
Yeah.
But again, I understood it's a cartoon. It doesn't have, but that was the one thing that bothered me when I first saw that. I was like, really? I mean, you can shoot her in the leg or something, just a robotic arm. But it was pretty cool that she disassembled that arm by shooting it.
Yeah, that was pretty damn cool. But I can't forget either. We do get back to Marcus and Silco with the update. And he said that he gave the false information about the Fireflies. Jason all them. But now he needs his evidence, so that's when Silco hands him that bomb. And Silco has he has that words with him like, yeah, I know you want to do it, but you don't have the balls to do it, like something along those lines. Or you want to be the hero. Yeah, here's your moment. And you see Marcus goes like, fuck this, and he pulls the pin, and there's this big explosion. And you can see it's just all in his head. They cut back to him, and he's too weak to do it. Which again, it's showing that power that Silco has over him. But he knows that Marcus is slipping from his hands, and he tells Jinx, work faster. And that's when she's basically she said that she's scared, and she's why don't you give it to the doctor? I don't think I could do it anymore. And he says, no, it's far too important. You're the one who has to do this. I only trust you. So he's trying to build her back up, and you can still see how broken she is. But that's when Jace and Mel they go back to them. And you see that they're starting to hook up. They're sort of forming a real connection too. It's not just that she's manipulating them. You could almost see that there's more happening with some of the dialogue and stuff they have, especially afterwards.
It changes from where just the episode prior, Vinny. The just her being changes in this is what I picked up on.
Yeah. So while they're together, while they're hooking up, they're cutting back to Victor as, when he fell on the floor and the blood happened and all that. And you're seeing the blood inside this magic portal kind of thing. And it's kind of mixing, his blood's mixing with the magic sort of and doing a weird kind of spiral shape. It's almost like organic tissue. It's weird how they kind of did it, but it looks really cool. And that's when, so the other two, they're done banging, and Mel kind of looks over and notices that Jace is gone. And then you see that they're basically in a hospital, and Victor wakes up, and Jace is like, I went back to our office, whatever, and I saw, he goes, and I found you. And he goes, why didn't you tell us that you were sick? How long do you have? And we still don't know, but he doesn't have much time, you could tell. And Jace is kind of destroyed by that, and he sees the reason why Victor he's wanted to kind of keep pushing forward and overworking himself because he's running out of time fast. So it's pretty kind of messed up how we were getting there with them. Let me see, where was I?
Well, and again, you're seeing two guys that created something together, and now one of them, the technology we've been working with, could potentially save your life, which is what goes all the way back to the second episode.
Yep. And that's the goal too. I mean, this is now why we see why Victor wanted to do what he did, and because they're right there. They feel like they're right there because he was showing them too that the capabilities of this hex magic stuff or whatever it is. So but I can't forget either. Silco takes Jinx.
I was just gonna mention that. Yeah.
I don't want to miss that because I know we're kind of jumping a little bit, but
no, we slightly mentioned it earlier because he had a question about it, but I think I answered it. So
he takes her back to basically where he was kind of reborn when Vander was strangling him under the water. Mm-hmm. He took her back there. It's like the outskirts of the town kind of thing, and she's like, what are we doing here? I've heard this story already. He's like, no, you don't understand. Sometimes we have to be reborn like this because this is what opened my eyes. He has a good kind of speech, and he wants to kind of rebaptize her in a way. And it was a powerful moment too because you could see how he does care about her, and he knows what she's capable of doing. He sees more in her.
But he wants her for his own means because
for sure.
He's like
it's nefarious. His motives are nefarious, but he knows that she's capable of doing these things. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, because he's like he talks about how she needs to be reborn because she needs to let Powder die, and so Jinx can be born because Jinx is perfect.
Yep.
In his mind, Jinx is perfect. And but we know what Jinx is like. Jinx is a maniac.
Yeah. She's a psycho, and the more powerful she's going to get, the more afraid people are going to be of Silco. So that's it, it's all beneficial to him. So he does build her up in a good way, to get what he wants, basically. So yeah, he gives her the dunk there, and she's kind of reborn. But as they do that, as she's being dunked into the water, you see like her eye, like it's implied that he gave her shimmer.
Yeah,
because her eyes get turning all pink and stuff,
Oh, I
Or
missed
was
that.
that from the poison in the river? Is what I was wondering.
I don't think so, because
I don't know.
his eyes didn't turn pink. Like he was literally like slashed in the face or something, like whatever happened to him. We don't fully know, but yeah, whatever left his eye like that, it was not shimmer. But the poisons of the water, or the toxins in the water that mix with his blood and his open cut, that's like he was feeling all kinds of pain. That's why he always has to take shimmer to put that pain at bay and to kind of sort of heal for the moment. His constant agony that's good. I like that they put that on the character, but I believe that he does inject her or something, because she gets a taste of it, or I think that's also to help with the that brainwashing thing. So as he dunks her, he gives her that shot, and it's like, yeah, see, you feel it, don't you? Like, I think there was that extra added step, and I'm glad that they didn't show it. They just implied it by having the close up on her eye, and it goes from blue to pink like that, or purplish. Because we've seen it. Everyone who gets kind of like that hit of shimmer, they have that. Like you see, like their eyes kind of change like that,
right,
for a little bit, but it always wears off. But yeah, it's cool. I like how they did all that stuff and kind of what they were leading up to. But let me see. So yeah, she confronts that one. But Kate and Vi. Yeah, so Kate comes down there and she's like, "That's a pretty good shot." And Kate's like, "No, that's a great shot. I'm an excellent shot. Like, don't downplay my skills, bitch." So she's like, yeah, she helps her up. She's like, "Thanks, Cupcake." She's like, "Stop calling me Cupcake." She's like, "But you're sweet like a cupcake." I don't know, the way she delivered. I enjoyed that.
Oh, it was hilarious.
It was fun. But so Svika, you see, she makes it back to Silko's place there, like the bar, and instead of being underground, he's above ground. Like that's what I like too, the difference between them. He has like his office is up, not down, and so she kind of she's making her way up there, and she's like leaking all over the floor and stuff, her arm, because it's still shot up, and she opens
he's
up the
like,
door.
"You're making a mess."
Yeah, you're making a mess, and she's like, "I need to tell you, with Jinx's sister." He goes, "What?" She's alive, or no, she's back. He goes, "From the dead."
Yeah.
So he was told, and we find out in episode 6, Marcus lied to him, and Silko is furious. He is furious because that's the one connection that might be able to make a difference with good old Jinx, aka Powder or whatnot. Let me see, where were we?
That's where episode 5 ends. Savika saying that Violet's back.
And
that close up on his face. Yeah. He was so pissed. I loved it.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah, he goes, "The girl, her sister, she's back."
Yeah.
From the dead.
And the score that follows through the credits is just awesome.
Oh yeah. Again, the music, especially in season 1, was so freaking good. Excellent moments. And later, they play a really good one too later on. But 6 opens up with a young Victor, which this was really cool. So they kind of gave this episode to Victor for the majority of it anyway, the opening. Yeah. And you see a bunch of kids kind of playing in the underground, and it doesn't look that bad. It's some sunlight's hitting there and everything.
No, it's beautiful. I thought it was a beautiful scenery.
Yeah, they did a nice job. Yeah, and they kind of like kids jumping in the water and swimming and stuff. And one girl kind of like she kind of pans out. She's like, because she hears stuff. She kind of goes over this little kind of hill thing there, and she sees the little Victor, and he's playing with, like, it's a mechanical boat. He's cranking it up. He looks up at her. She smiles at him, and like, he's got his crutches. Like I clearly can't swim, and she kind of like, she's happy, and she sees that he seems content as he puts his boat into the water, and she kind of runs off. And he's seeing that his little machinery is working, and He's got like the gears on it, and it's going down the river, and he's trying to catch up with it, but it's moving faster now because the current takes it. And yeah, it takes it to like this little cave. He trips and he kind of loses it, but he sees that it went into like this little cave area. So he follows where it went. And as he goes in there, you see like this in this cave, there's like some science shit and stuff there. And this big kind of salamander looking thing. It almost looks like How to Train Your Dragon. Toothless.
Oh yeah. It did.
Yeah, but
to me it looked like a giant axolotl.
I don't know what that is. What's an axolotl?
Oh,
they're
those
cute.
things that look like they're cute little tadpole things, but they've got like weird, almost tentacles coming out of their.
Okay. Yeah, it's got a cool design though, but it's huge. This thing's massive. It's like almost three times the size of a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty damn big. He gets startled, and then you hear a voice going, "Oh, don't be afraid. It's friendly." And it's that doctor who works for Silco. And yeah, so he's he's a little bit younger, obviously, since Victor's a kid at that point. And he said, "It's okay, you can come over." And he goes, "Did you make this?" And he picks up the boat, and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, he sees the kid's got talent. He's like, "This is impressive." And he gives like this kind of weird looking plant, this glowing plant, purplish pink, to the kid. He goes, "Yeah, you could feed her." So he does, and you can see it's all happy. It's like when Toothless in that How to Train Your Dragon, like he's all super friendly. It's kind of like that. Like it's very playful and sweet. You can see. It's like, okay. So he's kind of smiling, and he goes, "But what's sad is she's dying." He goes, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "That's what I'm trying to prevent." And he goes, I'll help you. Victor goes, and he goes, "Would you want to help me?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I guess I consider we could be lonely together and help to fix this." Like you could see like almost like an apprenticeship kind of thing right there. So that was really interesting too, that they kind of opened it with that.
Yeah, Victor's backstory.
Yeah, which again was excellent to see that, because then later on, like you said, we see something a little bit more going on behind the eyes there. And it's okay. So he had a connection with the Mad Doctor.
Yeah.
So that's and again, but at this point, he's not coming off as a Mad Doctor. You could see like, he's trusting the science, so to speak.
Oh my God. Vinny, I'm gonna start a tip jar. What are those called?
A swear jar.
Yeah, a swear jar, but it's for every time.
He did say that,
Not okay.
He created it,
Every time Vinny makes a real world reference, especially if it's politics related.
Well, wait? All right, could you give me another Mad Doctor we could reference?
Unfortunately, no.
Thank you. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Dr. Frankenstein.
There you go.
It's, it's good stuff though. But yeah, so I like that opening. It was really good. It's solid. So where were we? Yeah, he makes friends with him.
And I mean, did you feel that we really needed to know that much more about Victor from episode 2 till now? I didn't, until we got this actual information when it was, important to get it.
I do like where they gave it to us, though.
Yeah.
And it definitely makes a lot of sense. Like I said, the storytelling, it's very masterful in their approach and how they did it. So
sometimes you cannot do so well when you start, with young kids, and then you end up, skipping about a decade or, however long it is. Yeah. They never really tell us, but it's okay because you can follow along. But yeah, it's the way that they do it, to me, that it made it so much more important, because there's so much to focus on in a little period. But when they do it this way, I don't know, it just adds to the story.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. But, cutting back now for Mel and Jace. So Jace goes back to Mel, and you could see like she's pissed that he had left after they banged, and she's working on a mural or something. You could tell that she's a painter, and he goes, I didn't know you were a painter." She's like, "Yeah, I do." It's like, "Yeah, from time to time." And we get a little bit of her backstory, bits of it, where she came from another land basically, and you know, there's other stuff behind it. And you hear a little bit about her mother was like this kind of hard ass. We haven't seen her mother yet, but at this point, we get a little glimpse into her background a bit. Now they just kind of, you know.
Yeah. Like she says she's in exile from her family because she couldn't live up to the standards. And Jace says somehow that doesn't, how did he put it? Like it was kind of unbelievable to him that she would be in exile for that.
Yeah, because he kind of he looks up to her in a bit of like some of the stuff that she's been through already. And but at that point too, this is where we see she has a bit of a heart, because he goes, like the reason why he left, he goes, Victor's dying, and she kind of like freezes. And she's like, what? I had no idea. She's like, no, yeah. And then as she sat down, Jace just like, he lays down and basically rests his head in her lap kind of thing. And just like, they're talking like they're like a couple already. And she's taken back by it, but at the same time seems very okay with how things are playing out a bit. Because it's, as you can see, like they're connecting a little bit more on a human level. So that's what I like about the character too, because we get one sense of her, and then as it's kind of moving along now, we're getting a little bit more into who she is, which I thought they did a very good job with it, and ultimately, like, you know, what we end up finding more about that character. But at this point, though, it's really solid, and I like what they were doing with that. And then we see Victor, and he's noticing that the changes with that hex gem. Something's off about it, and it's almost like it's calling to him now. Like he's feeling something extra. Yeah, we have this was funny. Jinx, she goes back to the bar, which it almost looks like that moment from the end of episode 2 when she goes to sit down at the bar as a little girl, and Vander's making her a
with
drink.
Vander. Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. So like the door swings open, and there's a bartender who's kind of scared, like, oh, what the hell was that? Like he doesn't see what's going on, and all of a sudden you just see her sitting at the bar, and he gets like, whoa, hi, and she's like, hey, how you doing, Chuck? He's like, that's not my name. Yeah, it's Chuck. And she's like, I like to know what's going on. And she's like, whoa, what do you mean? Like, where's Silco? What's happening? And he's kind of stuttering and stammering. She's like, you're doing great. Keep going.
Yeah.
like the little bit of information he's kind of spitting out. And he's like, well, I don't know much, but there's 2 girls that they're looking for that are down here. Like, oh, 2 girls, huh? Yeah. Keep telling me more. Like, and you know, so she gets a bit of information. He's like, you did great, pal. I'll give you a little gift. And like, he's what? And you see like one of her bombs are on his back, and she kind of runs out, and he's shitting his pants, and it goes off, and it's just like a little pink spray, basically. Like,
yeah,
it's not an actual bomb. He's like soiled himself, basically. So.
Like she found the hey, you're having a baby, and then when the thing goes kaboom, you're gonna know by the color. That's what he.
Oh, the gender reveal. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's
what it
funny.
seemed to me. But he definitely crapped himself.
Oh yeah. Because again, at the underground, they know who she is. They don't above ground. So. But yeah, so we get back to Vi, and she's hurt bad, and she takes Kate. She kind of led Kate to where she wanted to go, and it almost looks like kind of like an abandoned water tower thing, something like that. And it goes further down. Like we're already in the underground, but there's like a darker part, and she attempts to do her parkour and falls midway and completely hits the bottom, and like she's out. And Kate's like going down there to try to help her, and she's like, "Oh shit, like this ain't good." And as they're down there, you could see it's almost like the Mole Man out of Marvel Comics or something. Like in all of his little minions, like the people have like sheets over them, and they're kind of scurrying away. They're afraid of the light almost. Like, like what the hell's going on? And it looks like it's like California or something. Like all the drug addicts, like all. Like zombified almost, like they're just kind of like they can't even stand up straight. You know, like they're looking for their next hit. Like it looks like you know, like one of those like drug alleys or something. And she's like, "Why'd you take us down here? Like, what's going on?" And she kind of leads her to a spot where I guess like a little safe spot where she thinks it's safe anyway. And she kind of like she's blacking out. and Kate knows that she needs to get her some help, like because like she ain't lasting long here with that wound and that injury into her, to her abdomen and all that. Let me see. Oh, this was great. So we don't. Jinx was looking for Silco and couldn't find him, and we end up finding out where Silco actually is. So we cut back to Marcus. He just got home, and he's greeted by Silco, and Silco's on the floor playing with his daughter, Ren. And this is like one of those mafia moments, because he's kind of like talking in code as he's like, I found out someone's alive who shouldn't be, kind of thing. And he's like, well, that's not possible. And he's like, she's out and she's in the underground. He goes, that can't be possible. I locked her away. Because something else was supposed to happen to her. And that's what you reassured me of. And he's like, I'll fix this. Like, you could see he's shitting himself now because Silco's making some threats towards the expense of the daughter. And like, it's a pretty messed up scene. Like, it's great. It's like one of those kind of, the bad guy's really flexing his muscle kind of thing.
The guy,
one of his goons, like reading like one of her children's books.
Yeah, like looking and flipping the pages, and his eyes are all over the place.
Licks his finger, rips the page, looks at him, and goes, "Uh oh," just shrugs his shoulder at him.
Yeah, yeah, and like you could tell Marcus doesn't want them there for anything. He's like, "Yeah, we'll talk outside." No, we're playing here. Can't you see we're playing? Like, we're not going outside. And like they're building like a little like a card, like a house of cards kind of thing. And then the daughter's smiling and happy, doesn't really realize that this guy's an evil piece of shit. So it's a pretty powerful moment there. But so as he kind of makes his empty threats, and they're serious threats, but he's like, no, I'm going to make sure that this gets fixed. I'll resolve it or whatever. That's when he's like, well, like kind of you better. And he picks up the last block and he drops it. Like he just purposely drops it on top so the whole house falls apart. And the girl looks like sad and upset. Like, and he goes, oh, oops, accidents happen. And he looks back at him. So like Marcus is like, okay, I got to get my shit in order. I'll do what I have to do, kind of thing. So Victor shows Jace the hex gem stuff where all the basically he's making like plants and shit grow out of it, and he goes, look how the organic material, like it flourishes, and again, like he took like a seed or something and it turns into this big plant. He's like, oh my god, this is amazing. But as he turns around, it withers and dies right there. He goes, but I can't keep it stable, like, because we need to figure this out. He goes, this could help so many people if we could figure it out. And he's like, what? He goes, yeah, I keep trying it. He goes, it does great, and then it won't adhere to the hex magic thing or this gem thing. Like it won't do what it needs to. Like the DNA of it won't merge with it. And he goes, once we could get that, we could save so many lives. So you can see like he's kind of hell bent on figuring this out. And
he's kind of down about it. And Jay says, "Don't worry, we'll get Heimerdinger to help us." Yeah,
which was cool too. Because we'll do what we do best, like that type of thing. Like we'll crack this code. Yeah, we did it before. We'll do it again, pal. So you can see like to give him hope. So it was good. Like I said, they have good interactions.
And you almost got to be a little pissed, too, because, again, right from the beginning, it's like, oh, well, in 10 years, the safety measures should be there. And, again, you're thinking we wouldn't be in this situation maybe had they not been so worried about safety.
Yeah, this is also true.
If based off of what we heard from Victor at the beginning, where, this could work. And, again, we are further down the line where they've been working, but they've also had other fingers, too many cooks in the kitchen, pulling them away from what the original plan was. Here he is sick, and we didn't know that at the beginning.
Yeah, that's good. Like I said, man, it all works how they did this. So we do get back to that deep underground part now, and it's filled with all those kind of drug addicts and stuff, and you could see like they got deformities, a lot of them, like they overdid it with the shimmer, and like it really messed them up. And like they're emaciated, but like they got like almost like growths coming out of them and stuff. So, but they also find out that the place where Vi kind of took them to, they're looking around. You see like the little like the lines when a kid's growing to see their height every year, and you see Violet's name on there, and she goes, Powder? Who's Powder? And he goes, oh, that's my sister. And that's who she's trying to find. And she, because I think Silco has her or some shit like that. Because that's basically the info she was trying to get from Svika. So she's starting to black out, and that's when Kate she goes outside of where they're kind of hiding, and she sees one of the little guys. She pulls a gun on him. He's like, no, I'm a friend. I used to know them. She's like, what? And she goes, I could get her help. So it's the little guy we see from the first episode.
Huck is his name.
Yep.
Oh, Huck.
Yep, the one getting scammed.
Yeah, the one getting scammed that Vander kind of helped him with. He had his hair pulled back with the glasses, skinny little dude. So, but you could see he's really the shimmer really messed him up. She's like, well, why did you take it?
Yeah, why would you take something like this?
Yeah, and he's like, well,
knowing that it's bad.
Yeah, because it's to feel like with something important for once, or that strength, or something along those lines is basically kind of like what he had said. And so he goes, well, there's a medicine woman who could help. So they get to this spot, and it's almost like when you go to get medicine somewhere, and it's just the little window, at the pharmacy or something, and it's all metal, and she's monstrous. She's not even speaking. She's almost I guess maybe the same species of that chef that Vi went to, the big fat guy who gave her the tip.
Yeah, possibly.
Something like that, but she's more aggro, and she's kind of grunting and making noises. And he's like, yeah, she can help or whatever. And so she goes ailment, she says one word.
Yeah, that was scary.
Yeah, it was good. So she kind of, she said what she needed. So basically she disappears. She comes back with a little vial. She puts it down. Trade. And she's looking around what? So she gives her gun. She takes the bullets out, and she hands her her kind of fold up rifle.
Yep.
She slides it over. So then that creature, she takes her earring off, and inside of it is a little bit of shimmer, and puts a drop of it in the vial of water, and slides the vial back to her. And basically this will do the trick, and then closes everything. Everything just slams in her face. So she takes it back to Vi, and so as she gives it to her, you could see it's clear that shimmer it does heal. So she gets the effects, her eye kind of glows pink for a moment, and she's spazzing out a little bit, but she doesn't transform or nothing because it's just one drop. But it was enough that it patched her up basically. And again, they got some really good moments in there, I thought anyway. But but they have some conversation there too. She's something about why she was alone or something, or because I want to find my sister or whatever, and I don't think she knows I'm alive. She's like, how would she not know that or whatever? She's like, it's hard to reach out to anyone when you're locked up. She's like, you don't have parents? And that's when she says it. She was, my parents were killed by enforcers. Yeah. And Caitlin kind of she's she stopped frozen, oh shit. So it kind of makes sense of why she doesn't really, she didn't like her that much to begin with. But again, they started bonding anyway with their little travels there and helping one another. So as Vi opens the door, she's greeted by Silco. He's standing there, and he's got all the shimmer in his hands, and all the drug addicts are around him. And it's almost like he's a little god in front of them, and he's handing them the shimmer. And as they start to take it, he's like, well, look at this. The prodigal child returns kind of thing. And they're kind of having their words. And Vi's not afraid of them. And as these guys are drinking full vials of shimmer, you see them muscling out like that kid did. And they're coming towards her, and she turns around, runs back in there, and Kate's kind of trying to wiggle the loose beam to have that whole kind of empty water tower kind of fall. So Vi runs in, punches it, and the whole thing comes crashing down. As it does, they run. And Silco's flipping out because it lands on all those, on the drug addicts and stuff. He was spared; he didn't get hurt, but he wants her. He wants her dead fast. And Marcus wasn't down there yet with his men, so he's getting extra fucking pissed. He's like, Vi's not supposed to make it to the surface, neither one of them. So he's flipping out, and
he mentioned that back when they were first talking, he's like they can never resurface, and then here he is having to take care of it himself. He's pissed.
Yeah, and he still can't. So as they're kind of running through the underground to get out, she sees apparently Powder or Jinx. She went back because she heard that the sister's alive. I forgot this. So this is really important actually. Before all this happened, Jinx she surprises Svika. Svika. And Svika went back in there to tell her, like this girl Vi is out there, and Jinx Jinx is gonna what? And you see she turns around, she's sitting in Silco's chair, and there's like a tripwire that was there that Svika hit, and all this gas comes out. And as Svika's kind of like going towards her, like to try to grab her, you see Jinx puts on her own little gas mask, and like she's not even flinching. Svika wakes up, she's upside down, hanging from those rafters. And that's when she finds out that she goes, yeah, your sister's alive. Yeah, and she's trying to mess with her head as well. And Jinx is like, she's like kind of playing dumb, like, there you go. Was it that hard to say? Like that type of thing. And she leaves her pretty messed up, kind of actually. Like, she leaves her in like that kind of moment, like we don't know exactly what the hell is going to happen to Zvika.
Well, don't forget, she makes kind of a half-assed fun that she blew up her arm and threatens to cut off the other one.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I went to go make something, so I missed a couple of parts. That's what I'm like. Yeah, I didn't want to miss that. Thank you, Adam. Yeah, she threatens her again too. You can see how Jinx just doesn't give a shit. She's not intimidated whatsoever.
No.
And someone in her position would be, because Svika is someone who she's out for herself.
Right.
So
there was one other scene that we forgot. It's when when the council gets together and Heimerdinger is talking about how we need to they've lost their way, and so we need to set aside our differences and come together and hold each other accountable and stuff. And
he freaks out when he sees it.
Jace gets mad and is like, who's going to hold you accountable and stuff like that. And he's talking about how the Shimmer is like running rampant in the underground, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then Jace proposes that Heimerdinger get retired.
Yeah, because we humans, we don't live for hundreds of years like you. We have to do it now.
Yeah.
Like we can't wait. But yeah, that was good. Yeah, Jace kind of, he turns on him completely.
And they all vote in favor.
Yeah, they vote him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
almost like somebody kind of had that planned way back at the beginning, though. I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Mel's got her hooks in pretty good. But yeah, again, there's other stuff that's happening there too, which is excellent. Did Heimerdinger, did he have that conversation with Victor?
About
what was it?
About
he went back,
his accomplishments.
Yes, yeah, because he went back. I forgot what point that was, but he went back to where he was as a kid. When he first kind of found. But he's up higher, like where he was in that little river or whatever. But he's kind of sitting up there. He's kind of looking down, contemplating his life when Heimerdinger kind of greets him there. It's like a nicer part of the underground.
Yeah, it's like where is this place? Because it's really nice.
Yeah, we get into that more, I think, in the next couple of episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, the next episode specifically, yeah.
But the shots that are right there that you're talking about, especially when it fades out, man, the art, the way they shot it, holy crap.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's stunning what they did.
But I feel bad for Heimerdinger getting retired because he's awesome. Like he's been so supportive of like, remember his first interaction with Jace was basically like, how to get out of jail free.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And he's just been awesome. And then he with Victor's prognosis and everything, he's like, you should be proud of all your accomplishments and all that. Like, Heimerdinger is awesome.
He is. He's a good little character. He has his moments where I'm like, oh, he's being a little dickish towards him, but it's like, no, he makes sense in what he was saying and how he wants to be more cautious with stuff. But yeah, that plays out big in season 2. But
Jace being the assistant too.
Yeah,
the prior assistant, if you will, even. So I mean, it's even better because they both have a respect for him, you know, on a different level, even.
I know, and then to kind of shit on him and basically kick him out. So yeah, he surpasses him basically on every level, which is kind of it's a little messed up. But I do like that Heimerdinger. He had a good moment with Victor regarding, because he's like, he goes, you know, you like your flame it burns so bright for a short of a lifespan as you have, and you know, some are, you know, we're even less fortunate. And but he goes, but you've done so many great accomplishments. Like, he's trying to build him up to him, and like he knows it's sad what's going to be happening to him and everything. And like it's a good moment. So that's why later when you see like Heimerdinger, he's almost like a fatherly type figure to them, that, you know, he kind of gets ousted. Yeah, it's crazy. The shimmer must flow. But yeah, so it's crazy stuff. But yeah, so Jinx, apparently she goes back to, I guess was that third episode when Vi had handed her like this kind of flare and her little teddy bear and said, like, you know, or her bunny, it was like this little bunny doll. But yeah, she's like, yeah, wherever you are, light this flare, I'll find you, type of thing. So when she finds out for certain that Vi is alive from Svika, you know, and like she's pissed, and she, you know, she almost doesn't believe it either. So she lights the thing, and as Vi and Kate are trying to run out of there, she sees it in the distance. She's like, what the like she's like, holy shit. So she books it towards, she beelines it to that direction, and it's a great moment too, and a great scene.
Yeah.
Awesome music that they played and everything. So she's holding this flare up with one hand, and it's burning out now. Like it's hit its last thing, and she's like, she's not here. Like, you can see it in her face, like she lied again. As she's dropping it down, you hear her voice. She goes, Powder? She turns around, and what a great moment between the sisters. She's like, oh my God, Powder. She runs over. They both have tears in their eyes, and she hugs her. And she's like, oh my God, I tried everything to get back to you. And you could see like Powder's like, she's like, are you real? And she pulled her back. She's like, what do you mean am I real? I'm right here. You know, like, she doesn't know how broken her sister is at this point.
Right.
And it's like heartbreaking to see almost, but at the same time, you feel so much for the characters. And she you know, she's trying to calm her down, and she's hugging her, and she's like, yeah, I was locked away. I you know, there's nothing I could do about it. And she's trying to explain herself, and Powder's coming around to her. She's like, oh my God, like from what we saw in the beginning of episode 4, where she's like, she shoots this girl because she looks like her, and she thought it was her for a moment. She's like, oh my God, my sister's here. Like it was a touching moment for sure. And at the same time, Kate pops up. She's like, who the hell's this? And she's like, what do you mean? That's an enforcer. So it's true, you are working with her. She's like, no, hold on. She kind of Vi gets in between the two of them, and she's like, no, you got to understand what's going on. She's like, oh, you're not here for me. You're here for this. And she takes out like the blue gem that she had stolen from Jace again for a second time, basically. She's like, well, I don't care about that. She goes, I'm only here for you. Like, she's very adamant about it, and she's selling her on it. And she's like, shut up. She's like, I didn't say anything. And she's seeing the dead kids again. And she's kind of like, she's having her psychosis. She's having a moment. And as she's doing it, like, Vi reaches out and touches her on the arm. She goes, I'm here. This is me. I'm here for you. I don't care about anything else. You're my sister. And like, you could see she's kind of breaking through to her again. And at that moment, she's like, come on, Powder. She's like, why are you calling me Powder? My name's Jinx. And like, she calms her down. But then all of a sudden,
you hear that?
You hear that? And it's the Fireflies come shooting out of the tunnels. And they're attacking them, and the two sisters are back to back, and they're trying to fight these things. You know, these the Fireflies that are coming at them on their boards and stuff. And it's cool. I like how creepy they are too, how they're moving, almost like, you know, kind of like Twisted Dolls or something. Their movements almost remind me of Return to Oz. You remember the wheelie guys?
I was thinking Highlander too, the guys with the swords on the floating, you know. again, cheesy.
Well, I meant like, you know, the kind of creepy head turns and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so a couple, like, they're fighting them, and the gem, the crystal, kind of, it falls on the floor or whatever during this fight. Kate ends up grabbing it, and she's fighting with one of them. They kind of like knock her down, and they take it from her, and like there's like a black plume of smoke that they drop, almost like ninjas, and like that one disappeared. So one got away with one of with the crystal. The two sisters are fighting. They're doing great, and you know, Vi stops to turn around, and she sees her sister fighting viciously, trying to murder them. She's almost shocked. She's like, Powder? What? Like, you could see, like, she's like, what are you doing? Like, you're trying to kill people? Like, she wants to say it, but as she's walking forward, one of them knocks Vi out. She collapses on the floor, and Powder's by herself, like, with that Gatling gun. She's shooting at them. One cuts her in the leg. She get kind of distracted, and she's gonna off the guy, and like the lead guy of the Fireflies, he goes grab her to Vi. So one of them picks up Vi. She turns around at her, and they drop like that smoke again. She kind of runs towards it to swing her Gatling gun, and they're gone already. And she turns around. She sees she's alone yet again, and she just screams, "No!" So yeah, that's how they ended that one. So pretty powerful stuff.
And yeah, I wonder. So, like, this is as far as I've gotten. I haven't watched any more episodes. So, at this point, how this episode ends, I'm thinking. So, Powder's standing there alone again, just like how she was originally left.
Yeah.
By Violet. Yeah, episode 3. And and so I'm wondering, what does this do to Powder's psyche?
Yeah. I know you're eager to watch the next ones for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, when these dropped, I was like, oh my God, when the hell's the next one coming out? Yeah, they're excellent. Because that's the thing. She's like, Vi? She swings through it again. She's like, no! She is losing her shit. But at least she saw that, again, Vi didn't go willingly. She was out cold when they basically kidnapped her.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, this whole set of circumstances from, again, and I mentioned it earlier, where she does the flare, and you see the two boys that she killed with her. You know, it's right there. And then here we are at this part.
Yeah, because they
where
spun
they're
the camera.
There, but they're all sketchy and you know.
Yeah, they all kind of monstrous. Yeah, I forgot to point it out. Yeah, when she did like that flare, the camera's spinning around her as they're playing this music. And yeah, you see like the two dead boys basically back to back with her. Yeah, it was a great moment all around. But yeah, especially like when the sisters got together again, and you could see Vi definitely has a major effect, like for as like kind of broken and fucked up as her. I forgot there was one point before that very very end where they have that the ending with Jinx. We see Silco. He goes back to his office and he's not paying attention. He sits down in his chair.
Yeah.
And he's like, how much damage could one girl do? Jesus, like he's so pissed because he couldn't get Vi. He turns and he sees his table and there's an arrow kind of pointing. He looks up and he sees Svika. Her body's hanging there and her arm is written, liar is written across her arm. So as Silco says that, how much damage could one girl do? He sees like, oh shit, Jinx is probably broken again, and like I don't have my hooks into her like I want. Like, you could tell at that whole moment. Yeah, it's great. It's fucking fantastic. So yeah, brilliant stuff all the way around. Like I said, the visuals in here, the storytelling, the pacing, everything is so excellent. So yeah, I'm really glad that they won the Emmy for best series and all that.
Well, I love the art and the art too, man. Like I said, there's so much detail and different things that you might not catch the first time, and then you really enjoy it as much like as I have. Then you watch it a couple times, and each time you find something new. Or like again, I questioned a couple things, so I'll rewatch it, try to catch it on the playback. This is why I mentioned a couple of things to you guys, because it's something that I've actually really witnessed, you know, and put the time in watching it, enjoying it, and then to bring it up to you, you know, again, like with the shopkeeper, because to me that was a big one where I was like, oh wow, like there's definitely
the madam at the brothel.
Yeah, the brothel one, yeah. The brothel one.
Yeah, I there's a lot of great stuff in here. Like I said, having rewatched, you keep finding more little gems, little stuff here and there, and you know that connective tissue throughout all of it. So yeah,
like Trina said too, like episode 3, how it ends, and then how this one ends, and how they are very similar, where it's gotta affect your psyche.
yeah, for sure.
How would it not?
Yeah, I don't know. Like again, like Trina was saying too, the time jump was so perfect. How they introduced the characters and everything again. Yeah, brilliant.
And how
stuff.
awesome the city looked.
Oh my God, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that time jump, how both worlds changed. How the underground got a little more seedy, but almost like cyberpunk-ish in a way. Because it almost had like there were elements of like a kind of, I don't know, 50s or 60s charm to like the bar and some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like the first 3 episodes, even the music that they played, like they had like that one kind of like, it sounded like 50s music, like Motown-ish, which is really good. Because if you look up the soundtrack, that's a modern day song, and they made it sound just like something that was out from like the 1950s or something. So it was really good.
Yeah, and the way that bar looked, there's a painting. I don't have any idea who did it or anything like that, but there's a scene where Potter is going up to that bar with that guy. His name is Theron, but she calls him Chuck. Yep. And the way that it looks like a painting with a 50s aesthetic. I'll see if I can find it. But I don't even know what to look for.
See if you could. What was it? Hold on. Because I know in the jukebox, like the albums that they were showing, it had that feel of. There's an artist called, his name was Alfonso Mucca. Here, I'll show you some of his artwork. Because I know this was definitely in the series. They had nods to this kind of artist and his style.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they definitely had like this kind of inspiration to it. I can't remember the name of this type of a style, but
okay, I found it. It's called. I guess it's called. Oh, I found it on Wikipedia. So Nighthawks.
Oh, okay. You have an image of it?
Yeah. Let me see.
It's a piece of artwork, you said?
Yeah.
Nighthawks.
Okay, I'm gonna share it with you.
Oh, is it the diner one?
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah.
Not ads.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. That's it. Kind of reminded me of that scene in a way.
Yeah, you are right. Which is great. Well, they did that in the latest Batman movie too. They had that kind of moment.
I love that aesthetic.
Oh yeah,
Red and Kitty, they did that in that 70s show. They pulled from that. They had that part in one of the episodes where they were sitting at the diner, and this is the scene. This is what I was thinking you were mentioning when you mentioned it, Trina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This original painting is actually at the Chicago Art Institute.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's killer stuff. But yeah, like I said,
that.
the whole aesthetic, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful what they did. And yeah, and you can see too, for even having something like that in there was again that throwback to Vander, to give him a little bit, he still respected him, he still cared about him, but he knows like he had to be done with him in order to take their city to the next level. Basically.
You can see how bad the lanes have deteriorated with them gone.
That's it. Yeah, that was the name of the other part of it. Yeah, the lanes. Which it's sad in a way too, because it almost feels like when we look back at some of like our cities and towns, it's like the same thing. Like it's so different from when we grew up.
Mm-hmm.
It is on very many levels. Again, you go back to the small towns of the 40s and 50s, and then where we are now.
Yep. Yeah, it's great stuff all around, but. Yeah. Hey, Trina, Trina and Tina, how fast are you guys looking to jump into the next ones?
It's
last
tough
week.
because I definitely want to watch it right away early in the week. That's why I'm kind of glad it's a busy week for me. So I'll
Yeah.
be able to put it off until probably Saturday.
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
did the same thing too. Because when we finished it last time, I wanted to go back and watch them right away. I'm like, I'll wait until after the Hannibal stuff. But yeah, Trina, what were you saying?
Yeah, I agree. I wanted to keep going, but yeah, I'm gonna wait till I watch these early in the day on Sunday today, just so that it's fresh in my mind because I will forget if I watch it any earlier.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's a great story. It really is.
yeah. I'm really happy you've all been enjoying it too, because I've been talking about this for a while. I've been wanting to cover this for a long time, but again, some of the other guys too, they didn't want to give it a chance, or one did, and then had to have his hissy fit. But I mean, it happens. I get it. And it's certain things aren't for everybody, but at the same time too, it's not what that individual was saying, and ultimately where it goes to is completely different than what that other person was saying. Which
That's
again,
okay. Each their own.
yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no hate. The thing is, it's like I did want to cover this with people who were definitely going to be, willing to dive into it, because, like I said, once you give it a chance and you just start watching it like that, there's so much that happens. The characters, the development between them, where a lot of them go. There is definitely character building throughout. It's really, really good. So. Yeah.
The opening had me. I mean, just how it opens, I was hooked from that moment. I was like, okay, I want to see where this goes. And I didn't know anything about it. I mean, it was just all you did was you mentioned it to me. And like I told you, I was catching up on a couple things. This time of year is always rough because of the, what we were actually going through in our history. And the family members that I've lost.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it's one of those things where Blue Bloods is over now. So I was like, oh crap. But the season finale was good. But this, like I said, I started watching it, and again, I thought you said our king, so I was completely lost and confused. But once I figured it out, I sent it to you, and you said yes, Arcane, and I'm like, you've got the message. I texted you.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Right. And you were like, yep. And that's when I started.
It's my stupid accent. That's what got you.
No, it was again, man. I've got dogs crying right now, so I mean, it's the never ending wiener dog clan.
But dude, again, you watched it more than all of us on panel already, and.
Well, and again, though, I've got a thing with art, and I like good stories, and I'm coming out of this not knowing anything about it, diving into it as someone that loves art and good stories. And I'm not going to listen to stupidity that says that there's something going on that's not there. And then if you're going to viciously attack it, I'm just not going to listen to you because you're an idiot.
Yeah, because I know a lot of dumb streamers, like, they try to do that too, like right off the bat. It's like they want to just throw it away right off the bat. Because there was that moment too in, was it episode 3, when Vi, she put on like the metal gloves and she punches out the dude with the tattoos, Locke. And like, someone popped up in the chat to go, oh yeah, when a 110-pound girl could knock out a big guy. Yeah, she's got metal gauntlets on, and the character is an overpowered character from a video game in a fantasy world.
Yeah,
I think we could bend the rules a little bit
for a video game movie too. On top of it, come on, it's not reality.
Yeah,
I mean, it would be different if Vi was just beat people up and she was never touched. That she comes out fine. She gets the crap beat out of her every episode.
She does. She freaking got knocked out 3 times already. Yeah, so I mean, she almost died. So it's crazy. It's cool. I love what they did with these characters. And again, the performances have been outstanding. So it's really, really cool. Looking forward to next week because next Sunday we're going to do the last 3 in season 1, and then I think a couple of us are going to be taking a little time off for the holidays. I think I might still do a stream in between there, but I'll do other stuff. But yeah, once we have our group back here, we'll tackle season 2. But next Sunday we'll finish off this one. So season
awesome.
1 will finish on the 22nd. Next Sunday. And again, super happy. Everyone's been having a great time with it because, again, especially if you love artwork on any level, if you're an artist or creative mind, you're shortchanging yourself if you don't see this series. you know, because there's so much. Again, even if you don't like the story of the characters for whatever stupid reason, look at the artistry that went into this. Look at these angles. Look at the storytelling aspects.
Yeah.
Because it's all there. It's not just pretty pictures. It's the lighting, the acting, the music, the score on every level all plays perfectly with what's going on and what they want you to feel and see when you're watching the series. So
to the lighting and the shadowing and the gray and the smoke and everything else too. I mean, there is just, oh my goodness, my friend, so much.
I mean, because tell me, when you saw that little character who Vander saved there, what ultimately happened to him, like, you can't tell me you didn't feel pity for him, you know, and heartache too, because he even says it too, because Kate wanted to take him back in to see Vi. He's no, I don't want her to see me like this. I don't want her to remember me like this, like. Because it's that same thing, right? It's, you know,
how important Vander was to society, and then when he goes and the law goes, look at how far it fell.
Exactly. One guy made such a difference. You know? And we're gonna see how that circles back around too with a lot of different things later on. So how again one person can make a massive difference. So it's excellent stuff all around, but
and it's shadowed throughout the whole story too, and we've already seen that happen numerous times. Look at how, you know, we get Powder back when, you know, Vi is there.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff. But on that note, we did go a while, and I know some people got to get to sleep here too. So we're gonna throw it around the room, and we'll start with Bad Take Bojan. Anything you'd like to say, or where you going to be, or whatnot?
This week coming up, I should be on the Sporky News podcast, as long as work doesn't get too crazy. On Tuesdays, we'll do something about Game of Thrones or something in the fantasy world for Spork of Ice and Fire. Nice. And then that would be next Saturday. After that, we do Aluminum Spork, and they've got a nice new intro too, which is pretty sweet. So
that's cool.
Mr. Grant Gregory made something absolutely gorgeous. Nice. So come check us out there, and have a great week, everybody.
Well, tell the fellas we said hi as well.
Will do.
Awesome. Kick it on over to Trina. Anything else you'd like to say, or last thoughts too on this? And then what we're going to be doing on Wednesday.
Well, this was a lot of fun. Loved reviewing these episodes with you guys. Looking forward to next Sunday. On Wednesday on my channel, Real Horror, Vinny and I are reviewing. Oh my God, what episodes are we doing? I can't remember.
We did 1, 2, and 3. It'd be 4 and 5.
4 and 5. Yes, thank you. Yes, we'll be doing episodes 4 and 5 of season 1 of Hannibal. Those have been fun, and then the toy stream and stuff like that. Thursday at 8:30 p.m. on this channel, and also Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective's channel.
Absolutely.
And then Tuesday at around 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Wrestling with Horror, Etep's channel, we'll be reviewing Gremlins.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's Christmas horror month on Etep's channel.
I want to try to swing by for that.
Yeah, it's so fun.
I love that movie.
That's all I can think of. Thank you all for joining us, and I hope you all have a great week.
Thank you so much, Trina. And like I said, we got plenty of awesome stuff coming up for sure. And of course, Adam, super fan, Adam Shawhan, and the Wiener Dog Clan.
So I know what it's all about. I know what Trina's been waiting for. She's been waiting for the wrestling talk. In the gold. There's the gold. We got the wrestling talk coming at you just for you, Trina. Just so that.
Nice.
No, it was a lot of fun, Vinny. And again, thanks.
Wait, Adam, you said it, so you triggered the Trina button.
Oh. No, fuck this fucking shit. When you guys want to talk about some fucking wrestling, come get me. I'll be in my fucking room.
That's what it's about. It's about the wrestling. But I'm glad that you recommended it, and I'm sorry that people have to hate everything, because if you actually would watch something worthwhile, you'd be enjoying this just like the rest of us. So, your loss, Arcane,
that's fine.
Yeah.
Some people just like to punch themselves in the balls all day. I don't think that's fun.
I'm good. I'm hanging out with good people. We're watching really good, this is what entertainment's supposed to be. We've got a story, we've got art. There are so many levels to this entire thing that I didn't even realize, and then you add there's a video game world and everything else to it. So, I mean, yeah, it's there. It's done right. So, and then the ladies get to catch up with us. So, yeah, we get to wait. But no, I've enjoyed it. So, again, thank you, Vinny.
Awesome, man. Dude, thank you,
Couldn't have
Adam.
found it without you.
Yeah,
So,
dude. Again, brother. I'm super happy that you enjoyed it, especially again when we get to season 2, because I know there's some stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, I know Adam would definitely connect with this, and I'm glad that you did, because yeah, there is a lot of powerful stuff coming up, folks. So yeah, and when we get to these last 3 episodes, especially the season finale to season 1, yeah, it killed me that we had to wait that long for season 2.
At least Trina and Tina don't have to.
That's right. They don't. They don't. So yeah, it's a big cliffhanger. So yeah, I think you guys are gonna love it. But and of course, for me, I got a bunch of stuff out there, folks. If you haven't seen my my comic books and all that, let me make sure that I have my link here. It's in the description. All the stuff's in the description. But I want to grab the link anyway and drop it in there, because we have, again, Shadow of the Kraken and Through the Woods. That ships out. They're on the same campaign, so it's the one you see right here. And I got a new image for you folks here. So let me solo myself. If you notice here, we have Alex Jones wearing a Shadow of the Kraken T-shirt while shooting a machine gun off of a pirate ship. Now, I can't think of another cool visual like that you might want to go ahead and pick up my products.
That is awesome.
Oh my God.
Right? Take that, you globalist scum. Read Vinny's books. They're fantastic. So yeah, everybody jump on it. We got the link down here. And of course we do have the art books as well. That is on the volume 3 campaign, which I will grab the link for you guys as well. And plenty of great stuff there. Copy. And again, it's still perfect for Christmas, for yourself, for a gift for family, friends, whatever. Do what you have to, because I'm telling you. Like, oh, Adam, I think I'm picking up the audio from the background. But yeah, it's awesome stuff here. So yeah, there's the other one. Click on that, grab it, order yourself some awesome books and all that great stuff. And Alex will thank you. Guys, girls, this has been a blast. I hope everyone had a great time. And yeah, we'll see you back. I guess tomorrow night we should be popping up on Etep's channel, Wrestling with Horror. I'll try to make that one. I know I've been missing some of them because, again, like the wrestling thing, it's not really my thing anymore. Like,
you got family in from out of town too, man.
Yeah,
I'm having a tooth removed tomorrow, so I will not be.
Yeah. I'll try to swing by at some point, because I feel bad. I mean, I've been there for so long. I think it's me and Tony been there the longest for the Monday night streams, but I'll try to tune back in a little bit. But yeah, I'll most likely will miss the wrestling bits, because I really don't care. I'm sorry. I can't sit there going over stuff that I didn't see either. So I don't know. Once the Vince McMahon stuff more drops, because it's dropping soon. Adam, you sent me something recently about the lawsuit, and it's going to get a lot worse.
Chris Jericho. So, I mean, just saying, man, that's somebody that's not in the Fed anymore, but was. And when he's putting stuff out there, it's like, woo.
Yeah. So, folks, it's probably going to get crazy. But in the meantime, please have an awesome night. Be kind to one another. Kick ass while you create. Watch what you want. Enjoy what you want. Fun University, RR. Thank you so much. Again, Tina, Trina, Adam, thank you a ton. I think I saw Godzilla earlier. Decepticon King, thank you for being here. Tommy, thank you, brother. And again, this week we should be still doing some toy stuff. I hope so. Tehillim 29. Again, yeah, check it out if you haven't. I think you're going to be happy that you did. It's a really good series. Gap After Dark. Thank you so much, buddy. And anyone else who's watching on the replay, have an awesome one. Be safe during the holiday season. And yeah, beware of the drones. Beware of the drones.
All right, move on. Nothing to see here. Please disperse. Nothing to see here. Please